Okay, I think I'm all set up, I hope. Okay, so for the most part, we're going to be working on the indoor layouts today because they look like shit. I'm like 80% happy with the outdoor layouts. They're definitely better than what we had a few days ago. We had nice layouts like months and months ago, and these are still better than that, but it's about, I don't know, it's a little bit better than what we had a long time ago. But this is better because it has a better size for things, because our layout size was like really big and it didn't work well with the terrain block size, so like they didn't line up well, and I don't know, this is just better overall. So I probably will still work on the village layouts a little bit this stream, but at least to start out, I want to focus on the indoor stuff. And if we go indoors to one of these, this is basically what they look like, and this is kind of like the type of shop that I'd be focusing on. I'd probably rather find a decoration shop, but I'll probably, while I'm developing it, force them all to be like decor. But this looks kind of crappy, you know, they're just like lay down squares and it's not the best. I want to find a decor shop, but here's a furniture-ish type shop. But I'll just go into code and force them all to be while we're, you know, programming it, probably. That'll probably be easiest. It's a plant store. It's a clothing store, which is way too small. Like, these layouts, even though they're kind of okay-ish, like 95% of layouts won't be this small. Maybe like every now and then I'll allow a small one. All right, I guess I should go into the code and start messing about. Yep. Okay. Maybe I also want to sketch some things out in paint eventually. Maybe not quite yet. I'll see what here. So right now we just have like a square, right? I think we can do rectangles in the code, but it's just a square, and then like fairly uniform placements around the stores, like this, where there's an item in each of these blocks and it's fairly uniform. I'd like to have our shops be any shape we want, like that, or anything, you know. We'll see the doorways here, so just be our little sketch of what this could look like. Whatever, that's a door. I'll just do it like that. We'll do it in the middle. Okay, there's our door. And I probably even want some staircases that can go inside. Like maybe this part will be like a raised part of the store. That might be cool. Hopefully I'll know what this sketch is when I look at it later, and I'll be like, what did these lines mean? Need windows. Just my little sketch to remember all the things that I want to be able to do. I probably won't know what half this shit is, but as long as I know what some of them are. This will be our little counter that the merchant's at. Beautiful. And then I gotta figure out how I want to do wall placements for when we're selling things in different shelves and all different tables and everything. But just to get a layout like this will be nice over, you know, if I could find something that doesn't look absolutely terrible. Sure. You know, it's gonna be better than this. Okay. So lots of windows, and then we have lots of different types of decorations. We want molding and everything on the buildings. And I have to figure out how I want to do different decorations. Okay, let me save this so I don't lose my masterpiece. I'm just gonna call this shop layout. Okay. And then let's go to the code and find something about, I don't know exactly where it's going to be, and this might be a bit difficult to find everything. Some files that I'm probably going to look at is building.js, room.js, and indoors.js. These three files probably have most of what we're looking for. Of course, the problem with some of this, it's not really a problem, but something we just have to be careful about is there's overlap between, like, room is not just for shops, it's also for NPC homes, and it's also for player place buildings. So be a little bit careful about what we're doing here. Let's go for the layouts in here. The set layout and with different types, which we're going to probably force all of them to be decor. Yeah. So it looks like this is mostly the file I'm going to be looking at is indoors.js, which makes sense. All right, so we'll force the layout type to be decor. We'll force, let's just write this down a bit lower. Just force one layout. Let's look at where merchant layouts are going to find, probably in this file. Maybe not. It's in merchant.js. I didn't even remember I had this file. All right, so these are our layouts of where things can go. I'm probably gonna like redo most of this shit, but we only have one for decor. We'll just force everything to be decor. We won't have to force the index because we're only going to have one index. Yeah, so let's just do what we had here. Force decor. Just put a little note here. Temp force decor while building layouts, something like that, just so I remember what the hell I'm doing. And then I kind of want to, I kind of just want to refresh. I guess I wouldn't have to refresh. This is going all inside the main thread, so I should be able to put this inside console. I already refreshed, so it doesn't matter, but in the future, I'll have to keep in mind that pretty much all of this is on the main thread. So I should be able to mostly paste things in the console and then just go outdoors and indoors to see it update. Okay, so hopefully this will be a decor building now, and it is not exactly. So the layout size was retrieved correctly, but not the layout placements. So where else are we doing stuff with layouts? This layout, so we're setting a layout. And then we have a dev build room layout. Why is that under dev? Is that purposeful? No, it's to get the layout from the current layout. Okay, that's not what I want. Here's house layouts. We're not focusing on those, even though I do want to focus on those eventually. Right now I want to focus on the shops. Model NPC house. Build room. So it could be inside this merchant file. Dev merchant layout to object. Build merchant layout. It's probably this. And here again, we probably want to force decor. Where was I doing that? Here. So the same thing here. And then that's where we loop through all the placements to create them. Okay. Let's try putting this inside console instead of refreshing. I don't know if I should really do it while I'm indoors. I should probably wait till I go outdoors and then indoors. Okay, so that's not great. No error, but also no loading. I don't know why that would be. We do have one called decor, right? Yes. I don't think it's because of the way pasting console. I think it's probably just going to break even if I do a refresh, but I don't know. Like, or like the Chrome tab froze? I don't know. Maybe I did something weird with like. Okay. Oh well, error. Create merchant items while loop has stopped. Could not reach max count. Okay, but that shouldn't actually be an issue. I don't think. Building garden merchant. Why garden? I'm trying to force decor. Oh, maybe that was old. That's before. No, it's after I pasted it. Huh? And now it's like not refreshing. Maybe Chrome's just freaking out. Maybe I made an infinite loop somewhere somehow. Is that possible? Where could that have happened? Maybe I did. It would explain it. Why the tab is hanging like that. We can figure out where game.world.indoors.type ID is being created. I don't know why I'm doing it this way. Obviously, I can just set them to equal this if it's not undefined or something. I'm sure I had a reason. Because I probably want to change something about these. But all this code is getting rewritten today anyway. Alright, let's see if the same thing happens. Probably will. Hold on. No, weird. But it's still building the wrong layout inside. Alright, I don't know why that freaked out. I don't know if it's from my console stuff or what. So why is that getting the wrong placements? This seems like it would be where we're creating everything. I should console log inside here. And see what's going on. Our layout is at layout types. Layout index. If we look at that, if we looked at merchant.layouts dot decor, and then we only have one, so at index 0, we have size and placements, and we are doing dot placements, and that should basically do what we want and place down all these items. Weird. I feel like it's like it didn't do a hard refresh. I guess I could, before I paste that, let's log what this layout has. Yeah, it doesn't have that overwrite, so I don't know what's going on with Chrome. I guess because I had to close the tab and I opened a new one, didn't hard refresh because I pasted. I don't know, whatever. Doesn't matter. Let's see if the same thing happens now. Okay, so the same issue is happening, but no errors, and it still says, well, there's this error, but that should have been happening from the beginning. I probably cleared console though, so I can't actually check that. Where's the layout the type ID being set? Hey, Crucials. I'm trying to, right now we just have a blue screen. I wonder if I go outdoors, will that fix things? I think I'm making some sort of like infinite loop here. Yeah. Something's not right. All right, let's undo where we're forcing things. Because we need to change to where type ID is being set up. Okay. Definitely breaking the tab with some sort of infinite thing. I'll show you. So right now I'm working on like improving how the shops look inside because they look like shit. But I'll show you what the towns look like since we improved that like yesterday-ish. And I don't think you've seen it since then. I'm gonna let this load a little bit. Loads fairly fast though. We have different tiers or levels to these villages now, so there's staircases that go up and down. They look a lot nicer than what they looked like a little while ago. And now it's just that all the stuff inside looks like crap. I'm afraid to go inside one of these buildings. Let me paste this in so we don't have some sort of weird infinite loop happening. And it's probably not going to be forcing decor. Hey Sabe, how are you doing? Okay, so we still are forcing the larger size for the decor layout, but it's using the items of whatever decide to randomly spawn. But I want to have like a nice irregular shape. Here's my sketch. But you know, a nice irregularly shaped room with different, you know, areas. And this over here, this area is like our little staircase to a slightly higher area of the store. And then obviously just have a bunch of items around on the walls and on tables of what the merchant is selling. If I could force, I'm trying to force them all to use the decor layout because that's what I'm just going to start with. If the wall ended here, you can kind of imagine what it did look like before I started breaking everything. But yeah, they don't look too great. Like it's a very uniform. I should have like another sketch over somewhere, but what we have is basically a square. I think sometimes I have them as rectangles, but for the most part, a square. I can't really draw a square. And then it's just extremely uniform placements of items where it's just like this and it looks stupid, you know, doesn't look natural, doesn't look nice. And then we have like the merchant seller in the center. That's basically my sketches are amazing. I'm not going to use a square tool. I need to do things by hand. Where is that even? Oh yeah, there is one. Look at that. Huh, look at that. Maybe I should use that. Yeah. Look at all these tools I never used. Maybe I'll use this one day. I don't know. The brush is nice though. If I was using those tools, I wouldn't have. Hold on, where are they? These masterpieces from prior streams. Look at how beautiful that is. And this one. And there's probably another one. Oh, that one doesn't really show much. Oh, I'm messing up my OBS window. Hey, Genders, how you doing? Look at Inkscape. Yeah, I probably should. I mean, I have Photoshop too. I can just use that, and I do that some of the time. But I don't know. I kind of like just making shitty drawings sometimes. Okay, so we're trying to force the layout. Where is the type ID being set up? Because it's not here. And these lines are so stupid. I have no idea why I was doing it this way. I'm hoping I had a good reason. This stuff is years old though, so. Where am I creating a type ID? Types. It's probably in this function. So set type, when we set this out type to merchant types .id, the weird thing about that is that wouldn't have an ID in it, would it? Oh, it does. Okay, so maybe we could just overwrite it here. So what is the ID for decor? 7. So we'll just ID is 7, temp force decor for debug or something like that. I don't know, whatever. All right, let's see if that works. Oh, I don't know why I keep refreshing. I really should just paste it in console. That'll be so much faster. I gotta get used to that. I mean, you say that, Shagon, but at least, I mean, I made all the art in my game, so I'm capable. I mean, even like the loading screen looks good. It's just like if you want to get your point across quick, there's no need to have all the precision and stuff. This gets my point across. This is perfectly fine. It's so weird how I have the. I should probably just start using fucking Firefox to get rid of those lag spikes. Okay, let's see if this worked. Hopefully, no errors. Okay, cool. So this is the layout type that I'm going to be starting with. And you can see how awful. I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but it looks pretty fucking awful for the shop. So like the shelves on the walls look okay. These center bits are pretty bad. Chrome has issues with the pointer lock API. Okay. And I also want to put in a bunch of code. I have to look at this error eventually. I also want to put in code so it's not selling the Halloween and the Christmas and the Easter stuff year round. Obviously, it should only be selling those in the right months. Okay, but we have this force set to that. I guess first, before we even do anything with placements, we want to work on the actual room shape generation. I'm not 100% sure how I want to go about this. I have to keep in mind that it's not only going to be for merchants. It's also going to be for player place buildings and NPC buildings, like their homes, NPC homes. So it's going to be inside room. We have like a buffer room function that just creates walls and stuff for us. But we need it to be like way more complex, right? Currently, what is it doing? How does it know what size to create? So where are we getting room size? So this is just building, a rectangle. Room size is indoors.size. Okay, so we're going to change that entirely. Hold on one second. Okay. How do I want to create these? So I think by default the tiles are a certain size. Probably 2 by 2. Yeah, they are. So you have to work within that constraint. We could make them smaller probably, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're right, Crystals, but it has to be this way. How do I want to go about this? We can make it, okay, here's an idea of how we can do this. We can tell just where the floors are, right? To tell where to generate walls. I'm not sure how we're going to handle staircases, these guys here. But we can just give it basically an array of tiles, and we can just look if there's a neighbor, and if there's no neighbor on that side, then that's a wall, right? So we'd basically just say, all these blocks, I'm not going to draw it out. Well, let's do this. So it'd be something like this. And then we'd place the floor for each of those, right? Again, I have no idea how I'm doing this area, whether it's raised and all that. But we'd have all of our tiles, right? And then we will place the floor where all these tiles are, and then we'll just check the neighbors on all four sides. And if there is no floor next to it, then we build a wall there. How I want to organize that array to easily look up neighbors, I'm not 100% sure. I have some ideas of how I'd want to do that. I also don't know where our 0 point is. I guess we could set it wherever we want. I kind of would prefer them all to be positive numbers. So I wouldn't want it to be, I wouldn't want our 0 point to be here, because then we have negative here and here or whatever, and then positive. Maybe I've flipped it for this axis, but we have negative and positive indexes. I'd rather, start it in some corner, like over here. And then, we have positive, positive, nothing will be negative. That's going to be easier to create, like, I guess I'll call them keys. That's basically what they are, for the object to easily look up and store where these placements are. So, just going to write some like pseudo shit code. That's probably going to stay there for a while. Tile can have 3 values, x, y, z, then y can be your elevation. Yeah, we can do that. The issue with elevation still is, though, like, just the staircase specifically, because that kind of is like in between elevations, right? And what do I want this to be part of? I guess, trying to think if I want to have like a room layout or the merchant layout. I guess the merchant layout should have the room within it. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to do this, but let's build out this object. And it's probably going to have a bunch of like really shitty code to begin with, because that's always what I start with. And it usually stays in there because I'm lazy to clean it up later on. But, whatever. That's just what we're going to do. And we'll just say, I don't know, floor, maybe, or room, maybe. And that's going to be... See, I could easily just make it an array. And that's not bad. I can do something like this, where we have... it could even just be an array of arrays where we have x, y, z, x, y, z, whatever, or, something like that. That's fine. The only issue is, to get its neighbors, we have to loop through the entire array and look for if there's one at that neighbor. So it might be a bit easier to have them have some sort of index. So if this were an object, right, and we had keys where we had our room whatever at 0, 0, right, and then we had whatever values we need in there, maybe, I don't know, whatever. I don't know exactly how I do it yet. Maybe that would be our y value or whatever. Then it's easy to just look up, change these two values to find their neighbor. And then we don't have to loop through it. So I think I'd prefer this way. I really should have a tool that will build this object for me, because we don't really want to do that by hand constantly. I don't know exactly when I'll do that. We'll probably test it out, just writing a little bit out by hand first to get it working, and then at some point build a tool. But this way we won't have to loop through the entire array to find its neighbors. Alternatively, we could just build an array and then put some sort of data that tells it where the wall should be for it, instead of having to look for it programmatically. But I think I'd prefer just looking for it. I'm pretty sure. All right, let's try something like this. And then this will be our y value. I'm not going to set them to 0 to start out with, just because we can easily look up if they exist, and 0 would return as false unless we said not undefined or something, or over -1 or some shit. So 1 will be our starting point. All right, I'm just going to do something really, really basic and simple and see if we can get this drawing correctly. So let's just, and I'll not do any negative values, I guess. And we will build the tool to easily just click on a grid, right? So our tool will look something like this, and we just click areas to generate tiles, right? And we can like have it so we can create elevations and stuff. I'll probably end up building an entire tool very similar to for anyone that hasn't seen it yet. So how I'm generating our village layouts, right, is this. So we already have this tool. Let me like move somewhere where I can see myself. That I can place down all kinds of things, right? If I wanted to build some stairs here, well, it's rotated kind of the wrong way, but I can put some stairs down, you know? I can put a building down. I can remove the road. I can place the road. So eventually I'll probably build some sort of nice 3D tool like this to export our layouts. I think that will be very, very beneficial to have really nice looking indoor layouts. We just have to build that, and I'm not going to start out with that. I first have to get all the programming working to at least interpret the layouts, and then we will be able to build layouts with a nice tool. Okay, so we're just going across the z-axis here, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. I could build a for loop to generate something like this, but I want it to be kind of irregular. So we'll just do, I'm gonna like kind of like space this out with how it would actually look. I might be flipping my axes, but you know, whatever, it doesn't really matter for this test. And then let's have a bit of a projection for the next two. So it's kind of going to be a little bit L-shaped. So here we're going to have 4, 5. This is our L-shaped room, right? I'm flipping my axes, I'm pretty sure, but again, it really doesn't matter. It's the best way to get these. Okay, so here's our room. We're not going to do anything with elevations yet. We'll just have to try to build something to interpret code like this and figure out where the walls should go. So it's not going to know about decor probably at this point, which is a bit of a pain. But that was inside room, I believe, right? Yeah, and our buffer function for room. And then we have room size, and we have a for loop. Instead, I'm going to write a bit of code. I want to have this in some sort of conditional. Since we're just like testing stuff out right now, I might just write like if debug or whatever. I don't know. No way to reuse most of the code from the first tool. Some of the code will be able to be reused. Yeah, some of the code will. I don't know. I haven't done it yet, so I'm not really sure how much I can move over. But hopefully, I mean, ideally, like most of it, but I don't think that's going to be the case because I'm a shitty programmer. But I don't know. I don't think it'll take too long to make the tool. All right, so here, I'm not sure how I'm going to handle a lot of things with the walls, because the walls won't necessarily. So let me just sketch out one of the problems that we might have, but we're not worried about right now. But our walls, right? So each wall is going to be its own strip, right? One of the issues that we might encounter is, you know, when we have different patterns on our walls, like decorations, or wallpapers, you know, the pattern might go across more than one tile. So we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna do that. If every pattern was just repeated on the same tile, then it's easy, you know. But since we might have it go across 2 tiles before it repeats or something, we're gonna have to figure out all that. Should I just comment this out? We'll just have this is just obviously like shit code here, but if 1 equals 1, right? Just to have it running and we could easily swap between, right? Else this. We don't even need to do that. We can just say if 1. Okay. just to easily swap between, and then we'll just say like if 0 or whatever, if true, if false. It doesn't make a difference. And then we're going to be looping through our layout. Since we don't really have a layout to choose from right now, we're just going to force it. And that layout would be our merchant layouts, decor at 0, and then our room. Say var layout, I guess, is merchant layouts.decor index 0, and this is obviously just for, you know, debug purposes, dot room, right? There's our layout. I don't know why it's tabbed over so much. Then we will loop through everything in that object. So for var tile, I guess we'll call it, in layout, and then we need to grab the key. So it's actually, I can't remember, that returns a key, right? I think, but we don't really want to do it that way necessarily, because we want to be able to interpret the value of the key. How do I want to do this? I need to like parse it. I guess I can build some sort of way to parse the string. I didn't really want to do it that way, but it's fine. Let's just, yeah, we'll get everything in between R and the underscore, and then everything after the underscore, and that'll be our values. That's fine. I didn't want to parse strings, but we won't even do that yet, because we just want to have the floor appear in the right spots. Oh, we still have to parse it to do that. Damn. And we're gonna need to eventually have a bunch of different code for different types of textures and stuff, for different floors and different colors and stuff. Let's just grab this. I don't even know where tiled. Where's our tiled boolean even set? That's just set to true right now. All right, whatever. Let's just grab most of this code. This is kind of shitty. This all needs to be rewritten and stuff. It's like very, very terrible code. Since these are all for 2 triangles. Oh god, look at how I'm doing these UVs. It's so bad. That's stretching it over the entire thing if it's not tiled, right? We're not gonna be able to do that anymore. Why not just use objects rather than parsing? Where we well, you mean like where we would actually have the values stored inside here of all the things. We still want it in the key so we could easily look it up, but you mean to also have like the values inside of it. We could do that. One of the reasons why I don't want to do that is because we're probably gonna have a lot of different layouts, and pretty like complex layouts that have a lot of data. So the smaller I can keep these file sizes down, especially because it's a web game, so you have to download these files each time. I mean, they can get cached, but still on the first load at the very least, you have to download these files each time. I'd rather try to keep them as small as possible. So that's one of the reasons. That's the main reason. All right, I'm going to get rid of this tiled stuff because we're not using that right now, and I'm not even sure how I'm going to do that in the future because we now no longer have regularly shaped rooms. I think we'll just mostly tile things. They could have different tile sizes to them, but we'll mostly tile things. And then if we want to have something that doesn't really tile, like a carpet, you can just buy in the shops, like, you know, a rug or whatever that you can place down over a certain area. Our size we'll leave defined how it is. That's fine. I'm going to break these down so they're not so many lines because we basically know what's going on here and it doesn't need to be so separated. The only thing that I might do is just put a tab in between where these faces are. We'll put these nice and close together. I know the +0 is not doing anything, but I had that in there for a reason. So it's readable, even though I don't know why I was doing that necessarily. Oh, just to say that there's no size in there. I don't really know why I was doing that, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Well, I just want this to be condensed but readable. Let's just get rid of the +0. We don't need that. I guess I was just doing that so I can, when I was first programming it, see where size was and where it wasn't. I don't know. Yeah, let's just condense this down. What did I leave out? Hold on, what am I doing wrong? This is where the triangle is. And then this one, right? It should be 3, right? X, Y, Z, X, Y. Oh, okay. There we go. Yes. Maybe I'll space these out a little bit better just to see where they're at. This isn't necessary. It's just a readable thing. Readability. Okay, whatever. Good enough. I'm not going to do that for UVs. It doesn't matter. This is all going to get changed eventually, probably. All right, so this is for all of our tiles, and then we need to parse from our key. I hate parsing text. I'm probably going to Google half this shit. If we just parse all the numbers that are separated, JS get numbers from string to array or something. I don't have a real delineator for them. So that's a bit of an issue. So we can't just do split super easily. And I don't want to build a regex function for this because I hate regex. I mean, it's good to have, it's nice, but writing them and using them is like confusing. I guess we can just do a split at the, yeah, we can just do a split at the underscore or whatever that thing we're going to use as our delineator. Since we still have that R before it, we can just either, yeah, we could either just strip off the first thing or just run parse int because I'm pretty sure that'll just strip it off anyway. So our tile XZ, I guess I'll call it, is we're going to split our key with our underscore. And then for each one, we want to just run, if we did like an array map or whatever, I suck at using those. I'm pretty sure we can just map the function to it really easily. How do we do maps and stuff? And I don't even know if maps is the right thing, but can't we do something like where we like, yeah, can't we like map? And how do we do this? I want to map a function to it so it runs like parse int on everything inside the array. Is it not map? I think it is. Yeah. So if we did, how do we write this out? It'd be like this, and this is like our num, right? And then something like that. And then we would return. These automatically return the first value, or we still have to call return? I don't remember. There's so many weird little different ways to do things in JavaScript. Hey, Stevoid, how you doing? I think that might automatically return, so that may be unnecessary, but... And then we can just run parse int on both of those, right? And this is each value in the array. I hate doing these. I'm trying to learn them, which is why I'm doing it right now instead of doing it stupidly. But I don't know if I'm doing that right at all. Let's try to log this in console and see how I did this stupidly. So our string is like R24, we'll just say, and 51, whatever. Okay, so that didn't exactly work because we have non-number and 51. Are we not allowed to do a parse int that doesn't just strip our things from it, I guess? That would have been nice. I thought that would work. We can just strip off the first thing, but we definitely want to convert them into numbers and not strings. I really thought parse int just strips off characters. Is that not how parse int works? Is there a good way to do that? Here's a regex function that I could do, and then map. What if we just do map number? Will that work? Or it won't because there's still Hold on. Will this strip everything? Probably not. That would be nice. Oh, I just read that from Shagman. Sorry, I had to cover up chat to like go to Google so I don't see what's actually happening until later. Does that work? No, it doesn't like there being a string in there. We can just like strip off that first value. Since we're doing this in a very predictable way, we can just like splice off the first bit of the string. Is it just splice? I don't usually do splices on strings. I usually do them on arrays, but what does that return? Does that return the spliced value, or is that not how you do splicing on strings? I thought it was something like that. Do I have to like wrap this in parentheses because of some weird order of things happening? No. Is that not what it is? Oh, is it slice, not splice, maybe? I don't know. No. Oh, I suck at memorizing all this shit. Okay, so that returns what gets sliced off. How do we get what doesn't get sliced off? What if we just do one? That's like hacky as shit, but hold on. That'll work, right? Okay, that works. I mean, that might be shitty, but as long as we're doing this in a very predictable way, this will work. All right, so then we get our array of values. Here's our tile xz. I'm going to call this our tile pos. Yeah, something like that. And then we're going to write our xyz's out. So var x is our tile pos x times 2. And then z will be the same thing. Whoops, that's supposed to be tile pos 0 and tile pos 1. And then in theory, we're storing our y value as layout at tile because that's what the value is from the key. I'm going to add a little bit to that, I think, because of where the floors are actually. I don't know. How were we doing it before? What was y set up as? Y was defined. Oh, as 0. Okay. Maybe that's fine. I'll do y minus 1 since I'm forcing them to be 1, so we can check neighbors more easily and stuff. I mean, I could always just check if it were defined, but I don't know. I mean, this is hacky, stupid shit anyway. All right, let's just see what happens, I guess. We're forcing a layout. Hopefully, if I did this right, I'm going to try to put this inside console, and hopefully that will work instead of substring 1. What's the difference? Is there a difference really than using slice? I can put it inside console and just see if it returns the same thing. But if it returns the same thing, like, how do I know it's better to use? All right, so if we have R5428, whatever. All right, so that returns what we want. And then if we do substring instead. Yeah, same thing. The reason why I'm putting R is because, again, to save file space, right? If I were to not have a letter there, that's invalid, object. So to make it valid, I think I could wrap it in quotes, but that's more characters than just having R. So that's the reason why I'm putting that there, because you can't have a key start as an integer. I mean, I guess you could if you wrap it in quotes. I don't even know if that's valid. But it's all to try to get these file sizes down and compress them. I can probably build a better thing to then further encode this possibly. I probably could convert this into a string and then encode some bits about this. And I maybe will, because in long term, right, we can get rid of these commas. They're not necessary. So we can build an encoder that at the very least gets rid of all these commas, and then we can put those back programmatically at the end to get file size down. But just to begin with, right, this will get file size down. In theory, if we're building an encoder and decoder, we can also, when we're decoding, change these so we don't have that R, but for now we do, so I'm just going to write code to use that. Because in theory, if I'm good about how I want to do this, I'm going to have like hundreds of layouts in theory. All right, yeah, so let's just see if this works. I'm going to paste this inside console, And I need to paste the layout as well inside console, which is somewhere here. And let's see what errors I get, because I probably forgot to do something, and I'm gonna be like, oh, of course that doesn't work. Oh, I should have just refreshed anyway, because I'm inside my village editor, and I didn't ever build like an exit function for that, so the world gets a little bit shitty once I exit it. Yeah, that's no good. All right, let's refresh. Okay, let's see what this does. Okay, we have errors. I figured that would happen. Tile pause. Oh, this is a ustrict file. It's a good thing. It makes me be a slightly better programmer, but I like to be shitty. I'm pretty sure I just didn't say var before it. What file were we in for that? I gotta figure out what files I'm in. Yep. I hate things like that. I need a better linter in my text editor, which will hopefully prevent stuff like that happening. This way, nope, we actually broke it. Okay. It's annoying that I have to refresh again. Sorry for making everybody wait, but programming. At this point, people are starting to get 1 gigabit download speeds. By the time you feel like fully marketing this, everyone, maybe for everyone, maybe it won't matter. You're right, but I don't know. The only way this is ever going to work in tablets is if tablets end up getting way better GPUs. Okay, cool, that worked kind of. Way better like GPUs and CPUs and everything. Which I mean they kind of are starting to get, but I don't have like a really good tablet like an iPad Pro or something to test it out in anyway, because those are like $1,000. All right, so that code is working. That's really great. We have our L-shaped room like I expected. So let's do code for wall placements now. So what did I... Okay, so inside this conditional, I was just doing floors. Let's bring this conditional out so it does like everything. And I really should like be rewriting this instead of copy pasting it, because like a lot of this shit should be changed. Oh, and then we need to build our ceilings as well for all these. What is walls? Why is that? And then we need to build all the molding and stuff. All right, we'll figure it out. Yeah, and then for tiled things, I got to figure out eventually as well. But we're not going to worry about that too much yet. Oh, these functions are so ridiculously programmed. Depending on how, like in theory, we can just do like a get model push function, so it's like all one line and just pushes a plane or whatever we need, whatever model. But since I'll probably eventually be doing fancy stuff with UVs, it's good to have the actual UVs and stuff being manually pushed. And the colors, I don't know. I don't know how I want to do this long term. In theory, I can do this a lot simpler. Maybe I should. Because if I use my get model push function, right, basically, I think that's what it's called, something like that. It would get rid of so many lines and just be model push, and then we'd like say what the buffer was or whatever, and the model, you know, this would be our name, and then our model, which would be like our wall model, And then for colors, if we're just changing vertex colors, that'd be easy because I already have like a color multiplier or something. I don't forget exactly how it's passed through, but something like this, right? That'd be red, right? UVs, I can then get all the previous UVs and swap them. Height adjusts for different ceiling heights. In theory, I can just scale this. So in theory, I can just have a model that we just do stuff with and like rotate it and stuff, and I don't need to place every single thing line by line. And then for things with UVs, we can just loop through the previous, like 6 vertices or whatever it's going to be, and place UVs on those. Yeah, maybe I want to do that. Should I make that model in Blender? I don't know. I kind of like having the programmatic control though, because like once we get into like doing moldings and stuff, those are going to be at different positions and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I will do it this way. Yeah, it'll be easier. And then we can loop through it for any changes. I guess it'd be easiest for me to just do this in Blender real quick. And I believe, since they're 2x2, right, we just get rid of this face. That would be our wall there. It's inversed. I don't know what height I want to be. I guess we'll just start it at, I probably want the height to be half of this, because that would be 1 unit in our game. Whoops. So G, move down that. Yeah, probably like that. That'd be 1 unit tall, right? Let's flip it, right? So flip direction, so it's actually facing the right way. And I think that's the right way that I want to have it. I'm pretty sure. And then we can just rotate that model around and change the scale for the height. So in theory, this will be better and easier. And then I'll also have maybe a different model for molding to be able to just do a get model push on them. Maybe I should be doing the same thing for floor, although floor isn't as bad. Maybe. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how I want to do this long term. Hey, somebody donated? Wow. Thanks. I don't know who that is. Let me check the email. But the way I have it set up, is that who was that? Are they watching the stream? I think I know who that is, but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to say. But whoever that was, thank you. Hopefully you'll say in chat. I could always send them an email later on. I'm pretty sure they've donated in the past, and they're in the thing. Hold on, I just want to Google, or not Google, search in my emails for that name. It is Sergeant Surge. Oh, that's what I thought. But I haven't seen him in chat. I'll have to send him an email thanking him. So I don't know if he's actually watching. I've been talking in the past few streams too, that I want him to stop by chat, and I'm going to send him a message. So if you do end up hearing this, thank you very much for the donation, Sergeant Surge. I very, very much appreciate that. That's like the first donation I've got since being back streaming, and I've streamed for like, I don't know how many hours, like I think like 100 or something. So thank you so much. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'll send you an email or something later on. Okay, so here's our model. I'm going to triangulate it. What else am I going to do? I'm going to unwrap it, but we're not actually going to use those UVs. I'm also going to put a vertex color on it. All right, and this is going to be our room wall model. Room wall, sure. You're Sergeant Surge? Are you kidding me? Why? Are you messing with me? Why is your username different? Why? Why? Why are you confusing me like that? Are you messing with me? What the hell, man? I've been saying so many streams. Oh, I miss Sergeant Surge. I hope he stops by. I'm gonna send him a tweet or something. I don't know if Shy Guy's messing with me or not, but I think, why would you make that up? I don't think you would, right? Holy shit. God damn, man. I didn't know that. Hey, man. Oh, I feel like an idiot. That's so weird. That's so weird that I've been talking to you the whole time and like, I thought you were someone else because your username's different. Unless you're trolling me, and in that case, I'm a dummy. Alright, so here's our PLI. I'm so confused now. Why is your username different? I wasn't expecting that. Hold on, I gotta figure this out. I gotta know if I'm being trolled right now. I don't know, shit, that is you. What the fuck, man? I can't believe it. You know how many days I've been going? Thinking about Sergeant Surge and thinking, oh man, I miss him. I hope he stops by his streams because I used to watch him all the time. We had so many fun times together, and here you are the whole fucking time. What the fuck? Well, it's like such a weird Twilight Zone feeling right now because like I don't even know how to explain it. The moment that I've been looking forward to seeing you, I can't even have that moment because you've been here. Well, that's weird. I'm glad to have you back. I guess you've been here the whole fucking time. What the hell? Why is your username different? That's and you didn't even tell me. Alright, so what is this called? A room wall? Oh, that's so weird. Here's our positions, and I guess we'll grab our colors. We don't really need that. And then I guess depending on which rotation the wall be, will darken it for one of them, and I don't know, something like that. All right, so let's go to static. And get that model in. So I got in game, so when streaming it made more sense. Okay. What are you streaming? Are you streaming game dev or like playing games? Because if it's game devy stuff, well, I'm probably already following you, but maybe I don't have notifications turned on. I don't know. Oh, it's like playing games. It looks like. Do I have? Why does Twitch do this to me? Hold on 1 second. I gotta move this over here. I hate how I can't tell if that's on or off because the fucking tooltip is on the wrong side, and then I have to like do that. There we go. Turn notifications off. Okay, I already have them on. Wow, I feel like such a fucking fool right now. All right, so here's our model. This is going to be for our what is it called? Room wall. And then our model is actually I don't remember if that's how this is thrown through. I don't think it is. I think it's like I need to change the name of these, but I think it's our name is our model name and our buffer name is our model name, which I know is stupid, but and then this is our what do I call it? Room wall, I think. That would make more sense, right? Room wall, yeah. Let me put this inside console for the model. Am I in that? Oh, no, okay. And then I want to look at my, I think I want get model push, but I'm not even 100% sure of that. Let's look at how we were doing inside village, I guess. Maybe it's not get model push. Maybe it's just like get model push model. I forget what we're calling it. I'm doing a buffer. Maybe I'm not doing it here either. Maybe I should just look at it where we're doing it in Fire Tower. At this point, neither. I guess that makes sense why I didn't get an email so long of you streaming. Didn't even know you were asking for certain turns. I guess I wasn't listening at that point. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't every single stream, but like, yeah, quite a few, like 2 or 3 times I was talking about you. But you know, I've been streaming so many hours, so like, I don't know, if you know, you probably weren't there on those couple seconds that I was saying that. Oh, that's funny though. Jeez, and weird. It's really weird feeling. Okay, so what am I doing here? Is this a get model push? It is. Okay, so we created the buffers and we push our model into our buffer and then we do whatever we want with it. So let's grab this code. And then I believe we're doing the same thing here. We're creating a buffer, right? I hope. Yeah, we're creating buffers model name, which is, I don't know, whatever this model is representing. So here, going to get rid of this. And this is all inside of this conditional. This is like our hopefully cleaned up version of what we're going to have, at least a little bit cleaned up. This is for our floors. Let's get rid of that question mark. Let's like label it up here so it's all a little bit cleaner. So this is our floor. And then this will be our walls. And our walls will be much simpler. It'll be basically, well, not exactly one line, but it'll be much simpler. We don't have to loop through them all. I will probably have to do something for UVs differently. You know, so when we do texturing on it, we'll like have a for loop that goes through all the positions or all the stuff that we push, all the UVs that we push, and then loop through those and set the right UVs on them. But we're not ready for that. All right, so this is our model name, I believe I'm calling it. Our name, this is kind of stupid how I have this set up, but whatever. This is our room wall. Our position is going to be, not exactly sure how, okay, that should be fine, yeah. How I was going to do rotations, but I think this will be fine. So that's our X, Y, Z are already defined. Our scale is going to be 1, and then our height of our wall, which we will just set to like 8 for now. And then we will need to do rotations on it. I think I want to have the rotations built into the model. So we're going to say, I think I have it set as like rotations needed. Yeah. I think I want that built into the get model push function. That'll be more efficient to use. I'm not going to do any rotations on it at this second, I don't think. Let's just have a conditional setup where we can look if the neighboring tiles have a wall. So for var I is 0, I is under 4, I plus plus, right? So we're going to look at all 4 sides to see, again, we'll go here, wherever I was drawing this out. I don't know. I guess I don't really have it drawn out that well. But for each tile, we're checking each side, you know, to see, is there another floor here, here, here? If not, you know, spawner wall. So, check pause. So we're gonna do, it's probably a better way to do this than making an array of this, but since I'm lazy and I don't want to figure out how to do this mathematically, I'm just gonna store an array of these values. Hold on, I think I want to do it this order. I think this makes more sense. Okay. Let's make sure we define this as a variable. Okay, so then here, we're gonna say, if from our layout, we need to check if that key exists. So if layout at, and then we need to build our key, and our key is R plus X plus our check position on X. So it's going to be check pos at index I at index 0. So if that layout, and then we need to have an underscore, and then we need to do the same thing for Z. So that's if there is a neighbor. So we kind of want to say if there's not a neighbor, right? So if that does not exist, then we want to spawn a wall. And then based off what we're up to, where our iterator is up to, is what our rotation is going to be. I'm not going to do rotations yet. I just want to see if that's spawning something, hopefully, in hopefully the right spots if I'm lucky. Paste this in. Probably did something wrong. We're probably going to get errors, but okay. Check pause not defined. Really? Didn't I put var there? Oh, I spelled it wrong. Fuck. Oh, it's so annoying with ustrict that actually damn, yeah, you caught it before me. I just don't read chat until it's too late. God damn it. It's so annoying that those errors actually break it and I have to refresh. It's not just like a little console error that doesn't really matter. And I can just get out of it, like how that happens sometimes. So that sucks. So Shygon, still feels weird calling you that instead of Sergeant Surge, but Shygon, have you seen most of what I've been doing then? Like what, you've seen the village layout stuff, right? So I don't have to show you that. Have you seen like the world, what it looks like? Probably. I probably already done this for you, but I didn't realize you were you. I can call you Sergeant Surge. Yeah, I might have to do that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so this didn't throw an error, but we also don't see the room. We used to see the floor, now we see nothing. So I made it worse before I made it better. Possibly it needs some sort of metadata in there. Maybe. I would have thought it would just fill that in automatically. So let's see, we have positions, UVs, colors, and metadata. I don't even know why we need metadata. Why? I don't think we do, but maybe the way I'm drawing it, we're using a shader that requires that for some weird reason. What shader is this using? I could probably just log it in console. I think it's using the default shader, so I don't think we need metadata. Let's look at models. No, let's look at game.world.indoors.entities. And there's a bunch of shit in here, but hopefully early on we have the room model. Yes, okay, so here's our model room. Let's look at the program ID on there. Okay, it is using the default program. So we could look at the buffer room, so buffers.room, and we can try to see if something seems weird in here. So for metadata, is there metadata? Yes. And is there a buffer? Yes. So the length of metadata should be the same length as UVs. It is. Okay, so that seems correct. So why don't we see it? I can get rid of that get model push function just to make sure that's breaking and I do something different. Were we already in a for loop? We were, but we weren't using I as our iterator, so that shouldn't be the issue. I've seen the game looks a lot more alive. I miss all the animals you had before, though. Right now it's mostly bugs, right? Yeah. Have you seen the flocking AI? Because that was cool. That helped the game feel a lot more alive. We just need to be doing that in more places. If I were near a beach, right now the only... Oh, I am kind of near a beach, it looks like. All right, let's run over to that. I don't know if you've seen this already. But if I go to the beach, which it looks like that's a beach biome over that way. Oh, and there's another town over there. That's good. Yeah, I miss the animals too, though. We need to have so many more different types of animals. We have birds too. They're kind of in there, but they don't look that good other than the ones that flock. Let's try to let the world generate a bit before I do this. But yeah, we need lots more mammals and just everything. We also need more plant variety as well, but we'll get to that eventually. Okay, so on the beach, there's these flocks of ruddy turnstones, which are like a type of shorebird, and they look really good. When they fly together and when they walk together. Let me get rid of. Hold on, pressing all the wrong keys. Maybe I'll even make this full screen. Not that makes that much of a difference on the stream. It really just cuts off the top and bottom. But all right, so these are our birds. They walk together really nice. They're a nice flock of them. And then when I scare them off, they fly together really well as well. Look at how cool that looks. Oh, there's a separate flock flying off now. Oh, it's so good. I love it. Using biodes. I don't know what that is, so probably not. No. I wrote it my own way. I kind of like to do things that way. I don't like to do things the right way. I kind of have like, it's basically that there's like a leader, even though you can't really see it as a leader, right? You don't see one bird as the leader. There is one leader entity, and then all the other birds are kind of just trying to stick near it. That's how I'm doing it for the most part. They're all basically trying to follow the leader. But the leader is not in the front. The leader is kind of in the center. And they're trying to center themselves around the leader, or all be around the leader. That's how I'm doing it. But it works well. I mean, it's efficient. We can have like a flock of 100 and it doesn't even mind it. It's like it just runs it perfectly fine. It's really nice. Separation steer to avoid crowding. Yeah, we're not doing that shit. That's too complicated. Local flock mates assignment. Steer towards the average heading of local flock mates. Cohesion steer to move towards the average position center of mass of local flock mates. No, there's basically just one leader and they kind of just try to be near it. That's it. And they try to match the same action. So if the leader's flying, they're all flying. Also, in the case of scaring one, if one of them gets scared off, it also scares the leader, which then scares all of them. But it looks good. I mean, like, I don't think we need all that fancy math. They don't all look like they're moving too uniformly. They all do their own individual thing a little bit, especially when they're flying. There's different parameters. I know they're walking through the wall. We'll ignore that. There's different parameters I can put through to control how dense they flock together versus when they're flying or walking or idling or whatever. I do need to put idle animation on them because right now they're all constantly walking or constantly flying. It'd be nice to have some of them every now and then like just pause and maybe like look like they're foraging for food or something. But right now they're either walking or flying. But like, I don't know, like it feels so natural and well done to me. Like, you know, because I go birding and that's like, this looks like real bird behavior. That's kind of what they do. Not necessarily ruddy turnstones, and like it's not perfect. They definitely need to be idling a little bit too. But like it's pretty accurate. Yeah, the whole walking through walls. I hate colliders. I hate colliders so much. I scare them off. Oh, it's so good. Fly away. All right. So room layouts. Why are they broken? Let's go into a room. So they were working without the walls, and then they add the walls, and now they're not working so well. Maybe it has something to do with indices. Maybe. But we're generating the indices at the end, so I don't think so. I'll comment this line out and see what happens. Maybe it's not rebuffering it, but I think it should do that. If it's not, if this doesn't fix it, we have to maybe, okay, that does fix it. So it is the walls that's breaking it. our model name should just be room. And I don't think we're overriding that variable. And then we place the model, which is our room wall. Maybe I didn't put this in console, even though I'm like pretty certain I did. Okay, so it's still breaking everything. I mean, I can log some stuff to see what's breaking, but I logged the buffer itself, and it, for the most part, it seemed fine. And if I comment this out, it works. So something in here is breaking everything. It had the appropriate metadata. We could look at the indices. Yeah, let's look at the indices. Even though I think that should be fine, but if we look at buffers.room, let's look at if the indice length seems correct. And that should be like, I guess it's a bit difficult to figure out what that should be exactly. But it's at 432. It's actually kind of hard to figure out what that should be, because ones that are connected are going to remove certain things. But that should work. Let's maybe get rid of these values just in case there's something weird with that, and just have get model push with just these values. I don't know why the ones that I commented out would break things, but I guess you never know. Let's also, no, we know it's rebuffering every time, so I don't need to do that. I was going to say we console log there just to make sure it's rebuffering, but we tested it out. We know it does. Okay, so that doesn't help either. It's weird. Kind of just want to delete everything inside here, but I shouldn't do that yet. We will eventually do that, but I shouldn't do that yet. All right, so what is going on with this? Model name, this model. Maybe what we're passing through is not quite right. So we also have this model, but this model should be buffers at model name. Maybe let's have it so it's just a get model push and get rid of these positions to see if just the walls will work and not the floor, because maybe it's them working together that breaks it. That would kind of make sense that one would work but not both, but either one would. Nope. Although, do I still have position commented out? I don't remember. No, I don't. Okay, so this is breaking everything and I don't know why. Let's look at the get model push function, see if I can pass, I guess, metadata through to it. I don't even know why it needs metadata. In fact, let's comment this out and have metadata commented out to see if that works still, because we don't need metadata. Okay, that works. So no more metadata. And we do have I being used here and I being used here, but they're not within each other, so it should be fine. Let's manually paste something in here that's going to raise the Y on some of these. The ones with positive Z will raise the Y. Let's see if this gives us what we're looking for. I mean, it's not with using get model push, which I want to do, but let's see if this works. It should work. Okay, so that works. I mean, it's terrible, but it works. I also don't know if they're detecting in the right spots. Doesn't look like they are. It looks like it's detecting for every single one. But it works. I mean, we see our our vertices that we're placing. So saying if there is no layout at R plus that and our, oh, well, we're multiplying our X by things. We don't really want to do that. I don't think that's fully what's breaking it, but you never know. It could be actually. At check pause at all these values. We're adding them together. All right. I'm going to test this and see if it's doing detection a little bit better, hopefully. I guess it might be because our model is so small. Our room is so small that we're testing. Yeah, so that is detecting them correctly now. It just isn't using the get model push that I want it to do, and I don't know why. Get model push, model name should be room. Our name should be room wall. Am I flipping those? Maybe I'm flipping those. I really didn't think it was because we looked at it here. No, our model is our buffer. Our name is our model, which I know is stupid. Huh. Maybe it doesn't like that there's indices on this. Maybe I don't want indices on this. Pretty sure it'd be fine to have indices because these have indices and it's fine. Maybe because we're generating indices after that. I mean, we could turn indices off on this. Whoops. Why? What did I do wrong? Oh, put a little period there somehow. Okay, so assuming it might have something to do with indices, let's comment this bit out and test this out. Maybe it has something to do with UVs. That could make sense because that model doesn't have UVs, but it should default it to have UVs. Where the hell's the exit? Okay, so that works. Okay, so it has to do with indices. That's weird. Okay, whatever. I guess we'll leave it without indices for now. We're generating indices further down, so it doesn't really matter. I'm surprised that that's the issue, though. All right, so I want to throw rotations on here. I don't remember exactly how I'm doing it because I can do two different types of rotations. One for the static rotations that are building into the model, and then another one that's on the fly rotations. And I don't remember how I'm defining them differently. I think it's just this. And then let's just see if that does something. Maybe I want to look at where we're actually having the function. All right, so let's look at what we're doing with rotations. Yeah, I think it is that. Yeah, because then we're grabbing rotations. Okay, so this would be our rotation. We'll just call this rot, maybe rot ID or something. I don't know. Let's call it rot. In theory, I can even just set it to I, because if we do these in the right order, that would work. Yeah, let's just try I. And then we just need to use these in the right order, so it will be the right rotation, which I feel like I might have specified correctly, but it might be offset. I don't know. Also, let's put a color on these because I can't tell the difference between where the wall is and where there's just background. So let's just say color, and we'll make them, I don't know, like gray to test it out. Whoops. We also have to fix why the hell, whoops. The doors don't show in here because it's hard to find the exit. Obviously the best player in this game. What is this? Professional bug catcher. Can I make this? Why is it so blurry even at 1080? Amazing. Did you go to the fire tower minigame? You've seen that, right? I'm sure you have. Or are they disabled on the web build? Oh, they might be. Shit, I forgot about that. I should probably update the version on the server. Yeah, you can't go in the fire towers right now. Oh, man. Yeah, I'll try to update the version on the server maybe later today, hopefully. Amazing. Oh, you got Bug Collector. Look at that. Perfect. Thanks for that. That was nice. Okay, so are they rotate the right way? Okay, so they're there, but they're rotated. Also, where's the color? Why do I need to say color multiplier maybe? Or do I just say color, but I didn't put it in console soon enough? I don't know. I think it's color multiplier. I can't tell where the hell the exit is. Is it here? Okay. So, I don't know why I don't see walls here, or I do. It's over there. Okay. So those are, I guess, for this particular one, 180 degrees off. But for the other ones, it's less obvious. Yeah, this axis, I think, I may also have the model placed a little bit offset incorrectly. I think I do. I think it's off by 1 unit in both directions. So I'll probably have to change the model for that. I don't know fully why that is, and I might have to change it in the long run. Let's try, I don't know what the order is going to be. Let's try inversing these and see if that helps. So, yeah, they are. Okay, those are definitely backwards, though. It's like weird shit's going on. These are not backwards. So 2 of them are backwards, 2 of them aren't, on depending on the axis. I don't know which axis to flip. I can try to figure that out. So on the Z, it looks like it's right. So on the X, it looks like it's wrong. So hopefully it would be these ones that need to get flipped. Which makes sense, right? It'd be negative, positive, positive, negative. Is that right? It could be. Okay, that is very close to being what we want. It is just offset by 1 unit. Cool. I'm not exactly 100% sure why that offset is, but if we just do a translate here, let's see if we can build it into the model, and then we'll just fix it in Blender, or we can change how our floor is being generated. What is the best way to do that? Let's look at our floor buffering code, because maybe I'm doing that a bit weird, and that's what's offsetting. It's really the floor that's offset, not the wall. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I don't know which one I want to move, which one I want it to be the correct one, but one is being modeled from the corner and one's being modeled from the center, basically. I think we need to move it. Yeah, so it'd be like something like 1, 0, 1, maybe negative and not positive, but let's see what this does. Okay, I think so that fixed it for one of them, but not all of them. So, weird. So it can't just be a translation? Maybe we just want to translate it on one axis? I'm not really sure what the weird offset issue is with this. Getting closer to getting it correct. Huh. So none of those are right. And that's offset. So it's like fixing it for the front wall with the offset, but not all of them. So maybe I need to translate it. I don't want to translate the model. I need to translate it after the rotation. Maybe, I don't remember how I'm doing rotations either. Maybe it does the translation after the rotation here and we want to do it before. Or maybe it's the other way around. I'm not actually sure. There's some weird stuff about this. Let's have the model without translations. And see if it looks like they're all... There's like overlap, so they're not... Oh no, is there overlap? Maybe not. So maybe, yeah, it's perfectly fine. It just needs to be offset after rotations, I guess. I guess that's fine. So here we would just do, probably here, just do like, I don't know, -1, +1, I don't know. Okay, so that was the wrong way on, I think, both axes. So we want to do +1. I guess that makes sense because it's going from -1 to +1, but we want to go from 0 to 2. So that actually does make sense. Again, like, it's hard to say exactly what's wrong, whether it be the floor or the walls, but I guess this makes a bit more sense. Okay, so this is actually correct, believe it or not. For the rotation, we're gonna like build in some like normals here, some fake normals. So if the rotation, if I mod 2, if that is 0, and I want to do it for the ones that are on the side. So if this were the front, which I guess, where is the front? I don't really know. If this were the front, I want these side walls to be the darker ones and the front ones to be the brighter ones. So I might have to make this equal 1 or 0. I'm not actually sure. And then let's define our color up here. Var color is whatever. Do I want to do it this way? Or do I want to multiply it below? It doesn't really matter, but we'll do... Well, we're going to need the color somewhere. We already have a wall color probably being randomly chosen, possibly above this, or possibly down here in the else. It's good how I was doing walls. Yeah, we're getting... Where's color? Color is defined outside of this conditional, it looks like. So we'll do that. Yeah, we'll just use wall color. But we want to have some sort of adjust for it. Whoops. So we want to... I guess I'll space this out so it's readable. Do this for 0, 1, and 2. And then we want to multiply this by something. Let's just have a var color adjust, I'll just call it. It'll default to 1. And then if it's those sidewalls, we'll just set it to equal 0.95. So take 5% of the brightness off. And then just multiply all these by that. And this should randomize our wall color to randomly select one from an array, I believe. Yeah. So that's good. Each building I enter should have a different wall color. Okay, so I made the wrong one, the brighter one. I want the side ones to be darker, so we just need to do that. Hey, the life is yours. I am live. That is true. How are you doing? Have you seen the improved towns yet? Let me show you them. Staircases and stuff. Now I'm working on the indoor merchant layouts because they look like shit, so I'm trying to improve them. Whoa, oh, I forgot about that. All right, ignore that. If the axis is flipped, I need to inverse it. That's all. It's an easy fix. I just haven't gotten around to it. Okay, so these are generating correctly. The colors still look wrong. I thought I fixed that. Did I not paste it in console? Okay, maybe I just didn't paste in console. Okay, so this is basically what I'm going for. We need to have the ceiling and we need to have the molding, and a better layout than this. But now we can have, any kind of projection jutting out from these walls that we want. Maybe I should make my tile size smaller. Maybe I should make it 1 unit. And maybe we will do that long term. But let's just let's try to create a layout like this. Let's erase these bits because that was just a demo of our walls. But I think a shape like this might be cool. I should build a tool for it, like we were saying, but I'm going to try to do most of this in code. And then build a tool. I don't know, maybe next stream, maybe off stream. I don't know. Okay, so I just miss it. What do you mean, Dragon? I just started streaming. I'm not ending the stream, if that's what you mean. Also, hello. How are you doing? And the way I modeled that in code was flipped, which I knew I was flipping them. What file was that? We can get rid of this file. Stream didn't start for you until I left and came back. Huh, that's weird. We don't need this file open anymore. Where was I making that layout? Here. So this was flipped, which I kind of knew. Right, so if we're looking at a room, that narrow projection is coming out this side instead of the other way around. Let's move how I'm doing this. So that is like that. So this would be 2. Oh, but what? Oh, because I'm flipping these maybe? So going up to 5. But how many rows is this? This is more than that. 7. So I needed to just combine. Hold on. Is there an easy way to draw this out? Maybe not. Maybe I'll just have them flipped. I don't know. Maybe I'll just build a tool to make this correct. Thank you, Dragon. It would be easiest if I just built a tool. Why does it look like there's only one piece sticking out here? Hold on. So looking at this layout, let's do a wireframe. Maybe I'm just not looking at this right. Yeah, I guess it is 2. It's 2 by 2. Okay, that makes sense. So our layout is like this, but flipped actually, right? So this part that's sticking out is on the other side. So we're mirroring it. Should I just build a tool to do this pretty easily? It won't be that hard. depending on how I end up writing it. I don't know. Would it be, let's make this not full screen. How do I want to do that? I mean, eventually we want to do on like the village builder tool thing. I don't want to do that all right now, but I want to have a nice layout because I want to have one nice looking shop, and then we can base, just have a start to something, and then of a good way to build things from there. So I want to have one really nice looking layout that I really enjoy. Just make this longer. I guess I'll just do this inside code until I build a proper layout. Okay, so that's already better. Let me look at my layout that I want again. So we have this L shape. Okay, it's not that hard. We have this big L shape that we kind of already have going. And then I just want a little bit down here. So this is the only bit that I really have to add. It's actually fairly close to what I drew. And then we need to figure out the elevation. The elevation, I think I'm already using. So if I change some of these values, even though I don't know exactly which ones they'd be, I guess they'd be... I'm gonna run into Tim Hortons, be right back. Okay. Be careful with the whole pandemic thing. Wear a mask if you have one. So if that's our L, so like our raised bit would be here, right? So that would be like here. Okay. So then here I would set these values to, I don't know how high I want them raised. Let's just set them to 2. Let's see if they're actually using those values. That's only 1 wide there, so we want to make that wider. I should like space this out so like they're actually the size of the grid, because obviously this is longer than it is tall. So it'd be 2 units and then 2 units. We don't need 3 then. We'll get rid of these ones. Let's try that. I mean, you have like a staircase and all kinds of shit. But let's try that out and see if it's actually using the raised values. It is, but I did them in the wrong place, it looks like. But it actually is raising them. So if we had a little staircase there, I'm probably going to make it so each value that it raises is half of that, I guess. Or I could just put 1.5 here, but I think I'd rather have it so we're using integers, so we keep the file size down in our layouts. And then within our layout, we are, I guess, dividing them by 2. We can maybe divide them by 4 so they're quarter increments, Where are we doing that? It's inside room, I think. Yeah, inside here. Where we're setting the floor. We probably also want to be raising the wall somehow. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do that. That's a bit of a concern. We'll figure that out eventually. But our floor position, we're changing the Y value. Let's just have this divided by 2. And then I got to figure out how I accidentally didn't do that in the right spot. Where's the exit? I need to have those stupid doors to exit rendering as well. All right, so there's our little different adjustment in elevation inside the room, right? But I really wanted to have it here instead, so I flipped it by accident. So if I flipped it, that means we really want it here. Hold on, let's reset all of these to 1. A tool would make this so much easier. But I want to take the time to do that. So I think here's where we want it. And then we had it here, so we want to do it here. I guess that makes sense, maybe. I don't know. Whoops, not 12. That's going to be really fucking high. Let's try that out. Whoops. Probably gonna want to make this layout bigger too, which is why it's silly to spend too much time doing this in code. But I think that's right. It's just mirrored, right? Which is kind of annoying, but it's fine. Yep. So we have this area up here, which is this area up here. Then we have a rectangular flat area, and then I just need to do this bit down here that we were talking about. So that would be down here. We have this shape, so it would be like down here, right? So it would be something like this. Oh, I guess we don't need that extra comma because it starts not one, so we'll put a space there. And that would be for 7, 7. Yeah. The fuck? Where did it put that? I put it over here. Okay, so this is rotated from how I expected it. It's not just mirrored, it's rotated. Shit. Alright, that makes stuff harder. So it's like over here, actually. This is completely rotated from how I'm looking at it. So it's rotated and mirrored, I think. Oh, this is confusing as hell. It's rotated and mirrored. Maybe. Well, I rotate it the right way, but it's still mirrored. Okay, so I have to be looking at it in this direction, mirrored, and I want that sticky out bit to be over there, so it's actually over here, which is what I was saying. Okay, so it's like these two here, but we don't really want negative values. I suppose we could have negative values, and it's not really hurting anything, I don't think. Or I can just offset it, so we add 1 to all the other values. Am I doing that right? Why is this one? So then this would be, yeah, these would all be 1, these would all be 2, and so on and so on. Oh, but I need another one here. Okay, I don't know how I lost that one. So I think that's the right layout. Wait, how to get an extra one here? Okay, I'm doing something stupid, but I think that's right. And are those ones raised? Because we don't want them raised. No. Okay. Almost kind of. I guess technically that is kind of right. If we look at this layout, we want to bring it out further. It's kind of what I drew. I don't like that everything slipped. It's confusing the hell out of me. And I don't know why that one got raised. They did that by accident. That is this one. I don't want that centered. I want that over further on the flat area because I want it to go up to where we have the stairs. So we'll bring this out over here, which would be in this direction. I just want to have a comfortable base layer to figure out how we want these things to look with the shelving and all that. Okay. Now, this is a bit small for what I want, I think. But I have a feel of like what the room feels like, you know, what size we're going for, what shape it's like. And it's a bit hard to tell with all these decorations here. Maybe I should stop them from spawning, but I think this is a little bit small. So we'll push out a few areas. How much time am I wasting by not having a tool for this? I don't know. So these would all be 5s. And then 6, and then 7. Get rid of these. And then that's making it longer. One axis. This is so hard to do in code, but I think all the parts that are raised I want to have out further as well. So we're gonna bring this out, and we're gonna bring this out. So these would be on 7, and then these would be on 8. I mean, it's kind of working. It's not that hard to do. Let's see if those 2s are lined up where I want them. Yeah, it looks like they are. Whoops. Unexpected token. Why I leave a comma in a weird place? Yeah, maybe it doesn't. Is it the trailing comma it doesn't like? Or do I have an extra comma? Maybe it doesn't like the trailing comma. That should be fairly okay to do in an object though. Most of the time it doesn't matter. Let's see, hold on, where is it complaining? R46? 4.6. What's wrong with R46 compared to the others? Nothing. Hold on, let me just try to paste this back in. Maybe something weird happened. I don't know. Maybe I didn't paste that in right. Yeah, maybe I just double pasted or something. I don't know. Okay. It's definitely a bit roomier in here now, a bit bigger. Maybe I'll just have this bit go out a bit further. I like this elevated area, although I have to keep in mind that it's not going to be as wide once we have a little staircase here. There's going to be at least a couple steps right here that's going to take up some sort of room. I don't know if they're going to be inset or outset, but I just have to remember that. Yeah, I'll bring this out a bit further over there. So that would be this area? No, that's this area. That'd be this area? Yes. So that's the 0 value. So we need to bring all these up, which is why I wish I had that plugin working correctly for calculate. I can try to make it do it. It might work. But we'd want to grab all of these R values. Hello, Burke Batman, is that how you say that? How are you selecting multiple separate parts of the same file? Like, how do you make all the R7s into R8s? So, I mean, there's a few ways I can do that. In this case, so I'm using Sublime Text in my text editor. Many text editors, if you get a good text editor, I recommend Sublime Text. Atom's a good one as well. They let you do nice things with selection, text selection. So in this case, I'm doing, if I want to change all these R7s, I can select one and then press Control D, and it selects every instance of it. So I have multiple cursors. Then I can, like, put whatever I want here, and it will do it all over. I can also, like, select rows like this, or whole columns and areas. It depends on how you have it set up, but how I have it set up on my desktop, at least, which might be the default way. On my laptop, I set it up a bit different, but that's middle click. So if I middle click, it does like a block select. So then I can, like, grab this entire column and then, put whatever value I want there. But yeah, you just need a good text editor and figure out what kind of text selection tools they have for you. Now with this text editor, which I was about to say before you asked this question, but it's relevant, is I had a thing installed and it worked well on my laptop, but I never configured it on my desktop, where I can do something like +1, right? And then it will calculate that. So it'll add 1 to all of these. I'm going to try to do it without, I used to just be able to do like Control-Option-C or something, and then it would just inline convert all that math for me. But since I don't have all the keyboard shortcuts set up for it, let's type in calculate here. And then, like, I can run calculate, but the issue with that is it has the, the math problem, or whatever you want to call it, on this side, and the solution. But I just want it to convert to the solution. Now, if I go back to calculate, is there something, calculate count? Yeah, that works, right? Maybe. I don't know if that's only working in this particular instance because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that works. So in theory, I can grab all of the R's and do that, right? So I'd be able to just, whoops, I want to grab all of the R's here. So I can grab every single one. I can move my cursor over one, add one, and then calculate it in line, right? Let's see if this works. I don't know if calculate's doing what I want. No, it's not. It's annoying. Add all selections. No. See, I used to be able to do this really nicely. I can do calculate, but I don't want it to have, it's fine. So I can do it this way and then get rid of everything before it. That works. Ideally, it would just have the solution. If I go into the settings for it, I can configure it. VS Code keybinds. Yeah, I'm sure there's good ones for that as well. I'm quite sure. No, don't worry about it. It's all good. Let's see if this layout is better how I want it. Okay, so that sticks out a bit further. All right. Oh, well, we have some clipping with the outside wall. I probably don't even need this outside wall thing anymore. I might leave it in, but just make it way bigger because, you know, I'm going to have the camera so it collides with these walls. So you won't be able to see through the building. I just don't have a collider set up for it right now. Let's look at where we're doing that with room. I don't even know what I'm calling it. I'm guessing there's probably an entity attached to it. Or it's probably just some sort of cube that I create on, let me go indoors, an inverse cube maybe. It's not there. Maybe it's a cube with back faces turned on. Let's see, does it have back faces? Oh, yeah, it's probably a cube with back faces on then. So it's either an indoors or room. Let's see, we're responding a cube. Yeah, it's probably this. Yep. And we're not using the size anymore, so but yeah, if properties room is not false. Okay, so let's just like comment out that line. Probably comment out all these lines, to be honest. Let's see if this fixes that. Sorry for all the crazy flashing. Yes, so you can see like now, you know, there's nothing there, so there's like a black area. That's fine because we're gonna have it so the camera stays within the room anyway. All right, I guess I'll pretend that there's some sort of staircase here and try to work on these placements, right? All of these tables and shelves being in the right place and hopefully looking a lot better and hopefully selling the right types of items as well. I haven't fully figured out how I want to have the code for these placements, but if we look at our area that we're building the room in, I can't remember what files these are, but somewhere, I think it's Emergent. Yeah. We also have this array for placements, right? And I think I have some code that runs this that will build it for me. Instead of doing it manually, I already have a way to do it. So it builds it for me. So with this whole shit here where I built this manually, we wouldn't have to do that with this. I mean, the system that I had, though, I didn't like. I'm just going to start out with commenting this line out and having no placements and make sure that runs and it doesn't like require some sort of placement like the NPC to spawn at the desk, which is through this wall here. I don't think it requires any of that, so I think it'll run. But let's paste in an empty placements array and just make sure we don't get like a million errors. Okay, very good. And that actually is helpful because this gives me a better idea of what this room looks like, because with all that stuff spawned everywhere, it was actually really distracting. This already looks like a lot nicer of a layout without a bunch of random shit all over the place. It still may be a little small here. I might want to bring this out one. It's a little narrow there. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. So I should just be able to like clone this, and then all these values we're gonna grab and then add 1 to them. I wish I could do it in line how we do it on my laptop, but whatever. Good enough. Did that do what I want? Not exactly. Have to be a bit careful with this because they're not all a length of 1 anymore. So I have to like move it over by this amount. There we go. That should do it. Yes. I got you on 3 TVs because I'm cleaning the basement and shit. So I'm 3 viewers because I ain't signing out on all the TVs. Okay. Are you really 3 viewers though? Because if you're logged in as 1 user, are they really gonna count it as 3 in the view count? It doesn't matter, but it seems odd to me. Okay, did I do that in the right place? I can't actually tell. It doesn't look any wider, does it? Am I going crazy? Maybe I did that in the wrong place. Oh, it's across where there's 2 wide there. There's 3. What? Did I just have to put this in console? Maybe I didn't paste this good enough. I don't know. Maybe I made the wrong part wider. Huh. Let's see. It would be. I think I am doing it in the wrong place because it's. How do I make this part wider? I need to build a fucking tool for this. So confusing. I think I did it wrong. Yeah, I made this part wider. I need to make this part wider. Do I want to leave the part that I did make wider? Probably not. Let's undo that. Yeah. So I want to grab one of these rows. Right. Okay, that's better. I mean, we could always tweak this further along. I just want to get something, and then we have that weird bit where the ceiling is based off the floor height. Maybe we don't want to do that. You have 3 logins because other people's TV is wife's TV here. You think I'd use these to pad my own streams? What do you stream, Save? Oh, that's not Save. God damn it! I accidentally see. I called you Save because look at why I did that. Because Save earlier, right? If I could find that, is white text, so I had to do that to fucking read it. And you're white text too, so I just assumed I didn't highlight it. Sorry about that. However I say your name. Josie, I guess. I don't know. What do you stream though? If you stream Game Dev, I'll give you a follow with some notifications. I don't know why it chose those colors because like on Twitch it's Josie is blue. I mean blue, green. Hold on. Let me do something real quick. What? Oh, you're holy shit. Now you're confusing me. So that's your. Oh, okay. I see. That's your wife's TV. Okay. Jesus Christ. Way to confuse me. There's too much shit going on. I gotta make it so. Hold on. Let's try to do that real quick. This white text, man. I guess I'll just put like a little opacity. But it's weird because it's not perfectly. Like this is perfectly white, right? Why would it choose that? The other colors that aren't white has a perfectly white background, and then the ones that are white, it makes it a not white background, which would be good, except the text is also like not white. It's weird. Hold Hold on. I could put a shadow on them. I didn't really want to do that, especially because then if the shadow is black and the text is black, then it's gonna be hard to read. I can make all text the same color, but I don't really want to do that either. Where am I doing the background stuff? I don't even see it. It's this, I think. Yeah. And the reason I want to have it have a background is because sometimes the colors like blend in and are way too clashy with this blue. You can just have it have opacity, so it's like most of the way to white. I mean, that still is hard to read with the white text, but it's not impossible. It might be harder to read with other types of text. Oh, why is everything gotta be so complicated? Whatever. Hopefully that's good enough. Let's put a border radius on it. Not that it matters, it's just for my viewing. No, not like that. Sure. Whatever. Alright, let me put that back. Okay. So, it's kind of what I want. Kind of a layout like I want. Let me look at my drawing. We need to spawn windows. I don't know if I even have the stuff ready for windows. You'll ban yourself? What are you talking about, Sabe? What do you... Oh. Swings don't care about other colors. Sabe, you can't say that. Alright, what the fuck? Here's our layout. I like it better than our square rooms. It's already a lot nicer. Let's just start spawning. Let's put some placements down. I don't think they even have elevation adjuster, Y adjuster, whatever we're gonna call it. But let's just have one spawn in somewhere and see what it has. Right? I don't even know if this will be within the room or outside of the walls, but okay. So that's that. Which for the most part is fine to have something like that there. There's nothing wrong with it if it was selling better items that didn't look so stupid. That would work. Let's look at what my tool that exports layouts does. So I have dev merchant layout to object. Let's throw that in here. Do I have to throw? Oh, I have to throw a layout into there. What is that doing? What if I don't pass the object through to it? Okay, doesn't like that. Build merchant layout. I thought I had another dev function that did something. Pretty sure I do. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's in one of these other files. Whoops. Okay, we have dev build room layout, but I don't think that's for merchants. I think that's for buildings, like for homes. Yeah, that has items is empty. Do I have another dev function? No. Merchant layout to object. Is there drama going on in chat? Should I time out save for a second? Can't you guys just behave? Hold on, how do I do this? Does that work? Okay, you're timed out for 1 second save. You should be back now. Just to get rid of your awful comments in chat. Think about pizza before you act. Think about it. Everyone loves a shitload. I can't even get pizza. There's a pandemic. I can't even order food. I miss pizza. All right. I mean, I'm glad I had the room stuff working. It's nice to have that. I'm a little stuck on how I want to proceed. Where are... I'm lost in my files here. I'm getting distracted. Hold on. What file do I want to be in for the layouts? In this file, right? I think it's in here somewhere. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I want to do with this for sure. If I move this along, I think the x-axis. That demodded you. Shit. Hold on, I'll mod you again. You were a mod, right? I think. Oh shit. If you time out a mod, it demods them. Hold on. There you go. You should be a mod again now. Shagon used delete block termed pizza? Pizza was blocked. I'm so confused. What is going on in chat? I don't understand. Oh man. All right. There's like a bunch of commands that nobody uses in there. All right, let's just see what this does. Where the hell's the exit? There it is. All right, so that moved on that axis, not exactly how I was expecting. Why is all this shit still in Naples? Is this paste been like expired, or is it said to never expire? This is Guinea guy shit, I think. Yeah. Oh, what the fuck is this shit? All right. Ugh. I want these indoor layouts to look good. I don't even like how these shelves look. And I want to figure out how I want hanging room decor, how I want that to spawn. Hold on. I'm gonna temporarily turn this array back on. Just to get a feel of what everything looks like, right? Okay, so we had these shelves, we had these tables, and then like we had these weird floor placement things. So the things that I'm going to place on the floor, I don't think I want that white block underneath them. I don't think. I think I just want them on the floor. Yeah, the shelves look a little bit shit. And then the things that are like ceiling hanging and wall hanging entities, I guess I don't even have. Oh no, I do have wall hanging entities. They don't work well on tables, obviously. Like this is a spider web decoration that you can hang on your wall, but it does not really work at all on a table. I'm trying to think in my head how I want them to work. I could just put them on the wall, but doesn't necessarily look right. I hate seeing the year on these things. It just shows how many years I've been working on this goddamn thing. It's not even done. 4 years ago. All right, so yeah, I just want this to look better. I need better shelves. I need better way to hang or display excuse me, things that are on the floor, things that are on the wall, and things that go on the ceiling. Like the bunting would go off the ceiling. I don't even remember that. I don't even remember the pants one. Oh, was it multiplayer? It was multiplayer, wasn't it? Can I still do that? Watch this. I think I could still probably do that. Game.world.player.pants. I don't know if it's using that. How am I doing pants? I should be able to do it, but I don't remember how. Not like that. That broke my animation. Is it buffer animations? Is that a thing? No. That broke the animation. How was I doing this stuff with the player before? Why all the spam lately? Where's that coming from? Hold on. I gotta time this out. How do I do that? Oh, there we go. Is that another one? God damn, what the fuck? How do I do this? How do I fix this problem, guys? I don't know how to fix the bot. Alright. Thanks. It doesn't really matter because there's not that many people watching. And the people watching, I'm pretty sure you guys are smart enough to not click on those links, so it doesn't matter a whole lot. But why does that happen sometimes? Okay, so here, oh, it's under appearance, right? I still don't know how to rebuffer them though. It's in create model. Okay. I wonder if I broke it by calling buffer though. All right, so in appearance, dot pants. What if I? That might not work because I don't have another model to put on. So this will probably do nothing. If I had a model for it, even if it was blank, but with the animations, and I broke that. Oh, whoops. Is this still working? Dragon, thanks for the follow with your wife's account. Okay. So that fixed the animation. So I like how I'm doing all this to try to take the pants off the model. However, if I did false model, that probably wouldn't work because it doesn't have the animations on it. But I maybe could do something like that. Hold on. So if we go into static and we look at like clothing for animate clothing, right? And then we looked at our false model, and then we just called this no pants. No pants. And then I did an animate clothing on that. So it has all the animated frames for it, even though it's empty basically. And then we set my appearance for pants to no pants. And then we just call create model. Fuck. Well, it almost worked. I mean, I don't have legs. And it somehow, because of indices? Because of indices. I guess I'm not. All right, this should work, except it's going to take my pants off, but there's probably not going to be legs underneath there until I had a model for that. Now I can create a model that's like skin tone colored pants. Idle undefined. All right, well, I broke it. It's taken over 4 years already. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I want to make it work. Okay, so it does work. Okay. Well, I I can't see where the fuck I am. Okay, so I took off the fans. I just don't have legs. But it worked. What the fuck? Goodbye, birds. It did work. The stairs are broken on the negative axis. That should be an easy fix, though. Okay, so then if I go back to this, I just set this to false. And then create the model again. Yeah, now I have my legs back. Okay. Okay. What are we doing here? I need to make this look good somehow, and I don't like how anything looks. I kind of like these table models, but I don't really like when they're that close to each other. Maybe I'll just have them so like there's one here, one here, one here, spaced out. I don't want to end up doing this again by accident though, where they're just uniformly placed around. So like just every couple units, there's just another one in kind of like a grid. I want something natural looking. But apparently that's hard to do. Okay, so let's close this file. And let's try to figure out, I don't know what these IDs are. It's like a bunch of shit. What are the IDs going through? Just try random shit. Alright, some of them are 1. What does ID 1 do? And let's bring it to like, let's see what this does. And in theory, I'll probably continue using IDs because there shouldn't be that many types of, I don't think at least that many type of things to go inside merchants. Although we're doing it entirely differently with how we do like NPC homes. All right, so that's basically where I want to place it. I think it's one too far out on, let's see what axis, on the x-axis. So on the x-axis, we'll bring that back to 1. Okay, let's also have another one, and we're going to move it on the z-axis to 5. Let's want 3 of these all one separate apart, I guess. Let's just see what this looks like. And then this is going to be at 7. I can't even tell it to rotate the right way. And then we need to have the doors model in. Okay. Okay, so interesting. So those are not always necessarily on a table. It's just a 1x1 thing that can also be a floor model. All right, so I'm gonna have to rewrite a lot of this. Do I like them spaced out like that? I don't know. It's hard to tell. I want to figure out how I want to do wall placements too. I'm trying to think. What's the best way to do that? I can just have them on the wall, but I don't really want that. I want them to look like they're on some sort of display stand. I think so. Like we have things like wreaths. We have things like, I don't know if this would be considered a wall or ceiling. I think that's wall as well. I think even the bunting might No, the bunting is ceiling. This is probably wall. We can swap for certain things that don't make sense. We can swap out the model for them, how they display in a store versus how you're actually using them. So like these Halloween lights, I think they are right now, they're like orange string lights. We would just have like a little box, and then you have to click on it and says like, these are Halloween string lights, you know, blah blah blah. Let's look at how we're using these layouts for the placements, which is probably inside room or possibly merchant. Sorry, I keep yawning. I'm probably making everybody else yawn. I have not been sleeping enough lately. All right, so this is where we build a merchant layout, and we are creating the entities in here. Yes, okay, so this is where we're doing most of our stuff. I can look at what all the IDs do and everything. So we have merchant ID on 0, 10 for window. Okay, that's good. We can spawn some windows in, hopefully. Merchant counter for 4, a barber chair. We're gonna build an array of these at the very least, so we don't have like collisions and stuff. Then we have stuff for clothing. Okay, so these are our options right now. We're gonna rewrite this at some point, but yeah, there's no way for us right now to differentiate between like floor entities, like floor models that we're selling, or table ones or anything. And that is running, what is it? How is it grabbing it? It's making a new default entity with properties. The properties get placement model. The placement model, how are we figuring that out? It's placement dot model. We're not actually passing that through, unless this is not the function we're using, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's layout placements, and layout is merchant layouts, which is what we're doing. The placement is placement. All right, so how the hell are we getting a model there? I don't think we are. So is this not right? So in my code, in my layout, I set the ID to 1. Okay, well, that's not the same. So 0 is different. 1 is this. So then here we're doing, okay, this is where we're getting it all done from. Okay. It's a bunch of fucking shit code, but then we have, why am I doing it this way? This is like the worst code in the world. So display box we're creating, and we're getting an item, right? We can tell what size and stuff to throw to it. And the size will be based off the layout ID to tell what size we want to spawn in there. Right. Okay. So tags, we should have tags of like floor item, I believe. So if we just throw this in, and should we leave it like that? Our seed we'll just use as like, I don't know, math.random, so it's different every time. Maybe I should be multiplying that. I don't really know. We'll just multiply it by 100, sure. Our size, I don't know. And our exact size we'll do as false. And let's, okay, so that returns something, right? That returns stuff. That's good. That's what we want. That's telling us what the store we're in, what it can sell. Now, if we had tags here and we put in floor item, does that work? Yes. Cool. And then we could also do, I think I call it either I think I call it tabletop item, I think. Maybe it's table item. Tabletop lowercase. Tabletop? We have table. Do we not? What am I calling these? Let's look at the tags in furniture. Okay, so here, let's go where we have like floor item. Just look at some items next to there. So cauldron, apparently a cauldron can't go on a table. Thought it could. Where's the thing that can go on a table? Why is it? There just happen to be none. Really? Does it go on a table? Nope. Small head time. That goes. Okay, it's called tabletop. So if I pass that through here, yeah, okay, that works. So we can pretty easily differentiate what we want here. So if we change some things about how we pass the ID through and how we model tabletops and all things like that, we could do some fun stuff with this. So I'm just going to use IDs starting at, I don't know, 20. Sure. And that will be, so we have tags that are going to go through. So we're going to have our var tags. And let's see if we do that as an empty array, that should just return everything, right? No. So I guess we'll set our tags as false to begin with. And here we want to call tags. And then I guess I'm going to continue this ID thing. It's really continuing the shit code that needs to be cleaned up, but you know, laziness. And here, if it's 20, our tags are going to be tabletop. And if it's 21, our tags are going to be floor item. So this will help because we won't get weird shit on, we won't get things like this where this is a wall hang item, right, that we don't want to appear on a table. And just go to a different shop for a second. Just go to the one next door. Yeah, and it's randomly choosing between floor items and table type items and stuff like that, which we don't really want. All right. I want to get rid of the stupid cube on the bottom though. I have no idea how I'm doing that. I guess it's in my entity display. I don't know where that is. Okay, I guess I have a file for it. So here, I think I just want to put them on the floor. So model, let's just get rid of all that. The position, it's going to be floating. We just get rid of all of these weird adjusts. I have no idea why we're doing that. I think we do want that though. Maybe this will help. So let's grab this whole file. All right, I didn't put the new layout in or the new handler of IDs, but they should at least get rid of, okay, so it got rid of the cube, but okay, so what if we had false model here? Hopefully that works. We still want some of that. Cool, okay, and that looks like it's basically on the ground. Okay, cool, that is kind of what I want. Yeah, it's on table do that. So right now, if we just pass through ID 1, it will randomly choose between, I guess, really any type of item. But if we want to control it more, where was the building that was doing? Okay, so if we threw in a different ID there, like 20 or 21, I believe, it would no longer, if they were all tables, it would no longer choose that, hopefully, because that shouldn't be a tabletop item. So let's go to, let's paste in how we're handling the new IDs, but we're also not passing through the new IDs yet. Let's make sure this works, since I'm like setting things to false and stuff. I never actually tested it before we do too many more changes. Okay, so it still works. And then if we go to the layout, we change these to, I think, 20 is table, I think, or is that floor? I don't remember, but just see if this is all the same at least. Okay, so yeah, we have a lot more control over what spawns then. That's a good start. I don't know if I want to leave it in spawning like this, but it's not bad. I kind of like how those models look. Again, I'm trying to not make things too uniform, hopefully, and hopefully look a lot nicer, where we don't just have a grid of like tables and shit, which is kind of what I'm starting out with. And obviously, I'm trying to get away from that. But there's that. How do I want to do this? Now, in theory, what I probably will want to do to compress these is have them as arrays, and then the last value could be like an object with metadata in it. But in theory, I want to make them an array. Yeah, that would be like this long term. I don't know if I'm going to do this today, but you know, it would always be X, Z, maybe we'll have a Y in there, and then our rotation, and then our ID, and then if we needed to pass through more data, our last thing would be metadata with whatever we want it in here, right? I think that's what I prefer long term. I don't really feel like converting shit to that right now, but that's a good idea of what we might want in the future. All right, I'm going to do 2 floor items here. We also want to limit their size. I think if I just do floor items, I think it will, by default, allow a 2x2 item, which is not a bad thing, but we want to do it in a somewhat controlled way, right? We want to make sure the layout has room for that 2x2 item always. Let's try to spawn in 2 of these. Also, I wonder if I could do half units on these. I probably could, which is kind of nice if I can. Just spawn these in and see what it looks like. 11, that last one with 11 on the z-axis might be touching the wall, maybe. Oh no, maybe not. Okay, it is touching the wall. And they're not both floor items. Is it because this can go on the floor, right? Okay. So we'd also want to like possibly throw in some block tags. So if we want to force, all right, so let's define block tags up here, var block tags, and we'll leave their default mannequin. Sure, that's fine. Hopefully it lets us pass through multiple tags. I'm pretty sure it does. For our floor item, our ID 20, we will assume that we're forcing a floor item, meaning it can't be a tabletop item. We could also just display that on the floor though. We'll get ones that are exclusively floor items, I guess, because we'll have tables around. So we'll also set, we'll push to our block tags, and we'll push tabletop through that. Hopefully it will actually filter multiple block tags and not just like the first one. It's an array, so you would think I programmed it to do that, but you never know with my shittiness. Yeah, maybe not. What if we just redefine block tags? Okay, if I redefine it, it works. I'll leave it like that, I guess. It's kind of shitty to do that, but I'd rather be pushing into it. But whatever. I have to look at this get merchant item function and everything. Let's try half units on this thing so these can be centered here with this amount of items. So on the Z, we're just going to add half a unit or subtract half a unit. Yeah, subtract half a unit. And I think that'll work. I don't think it has to be like on a grid of integers, I don't think. Cool, yeah, that works. I mean, I'm still not loving this. So we need a ceiling, and there's other issues that we need to fix. But I think it's an improvement. It's going to take a while for me to figure out exactly how I want this to look. And we need like molding on the ground and on the ceiling, on the floor and the ceiling. That will help. We need a door. We need windows. I mean, we need to figure out how to make these actual displays to look better and more natural in the world, in the game. I mean, it's hard to tell with just our few placements, so it still looks a little forced to me. Not, I want it to kind of feel like as if you're going into a store in real life. But that's hard to do. I mean, we can try to just Google what like a home decor store looks like or something, but that's not going to be good because it's kind of like shelves of items, or like we're not going to be able to do it exactly like that in the game. Let me just go to Google and just type in like home decor store. I don't know. Images. It's not the best way to do this, but here we go. I mean, it could give us some ideas, but it's, obviously hard. We can't do exactly this. I mean, it's giving me some ideas like where we're going to have like this type of display with things on it back to back or something. That's cool. That little cabinet. I like that. So it'll be some inspiration, but it's still going to be really difficult. Could maybe do something like that where we have a thing hanging on the wall and then just a bunch of items, like just a wall hanging shelf, which we have done in the past. It doesn't necessarily look good though. These aren't even stores anymore. Maybe I should have typed in shop or something. I don't know. I guess this is a store, a table full of crap. I guess we could do that, like a big table. That would work. I don't know how random. I don't know how controlled I'd want. I don't know why this photo's so blurry too, but in theory, I'd want to be fairly controlled with like the theme of the items per table. Then though, because if it was just like a bunch of random tabletop items, that might look weird. Okay, there we go, cleared up. Like in real life, it looks like they set up mostly like tableware items on a table, which kind of makes sense. And they're hanging like textiles or whatever from this kind of thing. But yeah, a big table full of items might look okay, might work okay. Shelves on walls. Okay, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna want to program this long term, but yeah, different shelves Have shelving like that would probably be a good thing. Yeah. All right. I have an idea of what I want to do. Maybe I shouldn't have closed that. Hold on. Let me get that open again. Maybe I should be bookmarking some of these images. Let's hold on. Make a folder. Let's call it inspiration. INSP, sure. That's our folder name. Inspiration. Okay. So I guess this. Did I just do that? Will that just work? What does that give me? Kinda? Not really. Sure. Let me just get a couple of those back that I might have lost. So this one, I liked the idea of this. We also have that big table, and then we also have nice, really large shelves. We have our little tiny shelves, which I don't really like, but like these these really tall. I'll probably do 3 pieces tall instead of 4. Mostly due to the fact that they're gonna probably. I don't know how I'm gonna do it for sure, but they're probably gonna be bound to each one of the control keys. Right? So like we kind of like ABX or whatever they are on a controller, or ZXC for the keyboard, that kind of thing. But yeah, we'll do better shelves, and we'll do a big table to spawn shit onto. And then we'll have random stuff basically on the floor for certain items. Okay. I kind of have an idea of how I want to do this. I'm going to have to be careful about the rotation of some of these items, but I like that little like clump of things. I mean, in real life, it works out better because they're all like themed, It's going to be harder to... We do theme things per store. So like in a home decor store, it's all home decor. But within the store, we don't have clumps of themes. I can maybe try to do that, but it might be also difficult to do that. I could do it. I mean, we already have tags on items that are theming them, but I don't know. It could be hard to. Okay. So is the next logical step to go into Blender and make some big shelving and some big tables? Possibly. I also just want to go outside of this building real quick and just, since we have that like very brick red color wall, I just want to like go into a few to get a better feel of, like this color might be a better thing to just test out with. It also should be a different floor color randomly. All right, this is a bit more neutral. Hopefully it won't affect my opinion as strongly. All right, so yeah, I don't like this uniform placement. And in all of those image results that we are looking at, I mean, I only saved 2, but it's hard to tell in the ones I saved, but still, it's not so uniform. I'm gonna take a quick 2-minute break to go to the bathroom, so I'll be back in 2 minutes, guys. Okay, I'm back. So if I did want to have like categories or themes or whatever areas of merchandise within the store, I guess I could in the layout attach like a theme or category seed. So then like everything that I'm spawning will use that same seed for choosing a category. But it will randomize the category per building, right? So every home decor store that had this layout wouldn't necessarily always have the same category of items in the same areas. You know, it would just be that this area is dedicated to one category. This area over here is dedicated to a different category. I could do that. I don't know how many categories we even have because the buildings themselves are already categorized, right? It's already home decor, so it's not like we have a bunch of different things, but we could try something like that. I don't know. Yeah, so we want to go, I guess, into Blender. I don't know what this model is called, but I kind of want to base it off of that. I wish I knew what that model is called. I can probably find it. It's probably some sort of table. It's probably like merchant display table or display table or something like that. Let's get up in whatever this thing's called, File Explorer. Let's just search table. Merchant table.blend. Yeah, that wasn't too hard. We have like a weird display on this one, but that's okay. I guess these scales are correct. I don't know what the offset's gonna be for these, but let's just name this a new file so we don't ruin it. We'll call this merchant table large. Probably also gonna recolor it, and maybe we'll do some sort of procedural stuff with the coloring. So each shop can have their own color scheme of tables and shit. Let me go straight into vertex paint because I don't really like the white tops. I guess it's not bad and it's like good in a way because it's like a neutral color, right? For it not to like clash or do anything weird with the item you're looking at, but I don't know. All right, so I'm not going to color it right away. First, I'm going to bring these out, and I think we still want the center point to be off of here. And then we just move these so the model itself is not centered still. I'm not really sure though. So this would be a 2x3 table. See, in theory, we'd want to center it out, right? Like that. And I guess like that. That's centered, right? In theory, that makes more sense. But there's issues that can come along with that. And I don't know what I'd prefer. I guess I'll try it like this first. How's the height on these tables for the player? Not bad. It's an okay height. So this fits. Oh, let me bring this back again. That's 4 wide and then 2 wide. So that'll fit 8 items. So I want 4 wide. Let's try to visualize that in the game. That's going to be pretty big. Right? Because this is each unit. So it would be. It'd go from this edge here to this edge here. And it'd be double the width of this. Maybe. I mean, it's pretty fucking big, but maybe. All right, let's do some vertex paint on it. I'm just gonna make it like a basic wooden table. I don't like how bright this white is. I thought it was a good idea, and in theory it is, but I don't know. I don't like it. How do I get this panel open? I don't know what. Isn't that T? Oh, I was pressing the wrong key, wasn't I? All right, I just want it to be like a nice light woodish color. Kind of like that. Whoops. Do I want both sides paint the same? I don't know. Maybe not. Let's paint the sides a little bit differently, I guess. And then the legs, I'll try to leave them black. Okay. Let's export this as a PLI. And then I'm gonna have to figure out how we want to loop through everything on the table and stuff and how it rotates and everything, but we'll figure that out over time. I think I want everything to be zeroed out in the center. I'm pretty sure that would make more sense. Yeah. Because even though we might not be doing that currently, that's what we're going to do long term. Yeah, let's just export it centered. I think it'll be fine to do this. All of our furniture is going to do this eventually. It just isn't currently, but since I recode it, our furniture placement stuff, we can center it and it makes more sense and it's much better. All right, so this is going to be our table, this file, and it should be merge table large. There we go. It has UVs on it, but I don't think I'm actually using them. So we're just going to ignore that data. And then probably in this file we have it's probably called display table or something. Yeah, it's probably this. I guess I'll call it display table large. We're not compressing it yet. Probably should be, but it's not that important. Okay, and then here we want to do display table large. And then in merchant, just make a layout ID for that. I have no idea where we want this placement and everything, but we'll just spawn it. We'll get rid of some of what we have because I don't like it. We'll test out the scale. We'll have this be ID 22 because why not? We'll have one with 21 because I think it's a floor item. Sure. This will be moved over. Sure, something like this. I don't really know. We're gonna have to figure it out. But let's go to where we're doing IDs. Then here, we want everything to be tabletop again. I know this is shit code and we're gonna redo this and it's awful how I'm doing this, but it's okay. How are we changing display box? Okay, so we were changing it within the display entity, but I don't know if it knows about what the layout ID is on there and how it's getting those items. Maybe it's getting the items from here. How are we doing like the multi-stack shelves? That's this. All right, so we can do something like this, but it's going to be confusing. Oh, I need to clean up all this shit. I should really do a rewrite of this whole thing instead of continuing the madness, but hold on. So at least do this slightly more logically. It's still going to be bad, but let's call this as a large table. We want to get only tabletops, right? Is this in a for loop? Oh shit, yeah it is. Alright, for each of the items. You ever witness anything paranormal? No, not really. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I'm a programmer, so I think logically, you know? So like if something weird happens, I think about it logically and what's the most logical explanation. And normally the most logical explanation is not something paranormal. So I guess you have, though, because otherwise you probably wouldn't be asking. All right, so we're gonna have some fucking kind of for loop here. I don't know how I want to do this. We're gonna have to count rotation into this eventually, but something I don't even know. Like for var, and I think we have I above this, so let's just do j. J is under 8, I suppose. J plus plus. We skipped work once and went to Blue Ghost Tunnel. I coded since I was 7. When we were leaving, we had some shadow people appear, call one a midget and didn't like it, and 3 of us jumped back. Okay. Well, I never experienced anything weird. Not that I can recall. I don't know why this is tabbed over more. Yeah, I tend to not even really. I mean, I'm not going to say like whether or not weird paranormal stuff exists, because I mean, choose to believe whatever you want. And how would I know? I mean, there's no way I could know that. I don't know much of anything. So, I mean, I guess that's cool if you're into it. Let's just move these all on I, just so it spawns or all on X, just so it spawns 8 of these as a test, I guess. The rotation, I don't even know how we're getting that. I mean, I guess there could be stuff out there. I've just never seen anything in my life. All right, so that worked. I mean, it's not what we wanted. Also, did it do it as a like weird double shelf item? I don't know what the hell happened over here. I didn't move that to the right amount. All right, so that's interesting. It worked. We need to do more with it, but it did work. I kind of want to move our layouts closer to the function that I'm editing, so it's easy to copy paste it all together. Gone to astral traveling, had wife hide pizza boxes while I left body and located them. 100% accuracy, so that's neat. Don't know what to make of it, but it happened. I don't had wife hide pizza boxes while I left body and located items. What? You left your body? All right, Dragon. Are you still? Maybe I shouldn't say this. I don't want to be offensive, but are you still celebrating 420 where you are? Is that what's going on? I'm not trying to be an asshole, but just the things you're saying. Don't celebrate Hitler's B-Day like the Muppets. Okay. All right, so we have ID 22 here. Then we need to do something different for that, right? So it's easy to spawn them at, as a 2x4. What's the best way to do that? I guess on the X we'll do this as J mod 4. And then in theory we can do the same thing. We can do it as on this side, math.floor J divided by 4. And that should give us 2x4. It's not rotating it, so I might want to figure out how I want to do that. But this should give us, instead of a 1x8 long table thing, a 2x4 table thing. It's not using the model we want, but yeah, that works. It's also not rotating them necessarily how I want. I'm not sure how I want to rotate them yet, but that does work. It's hard to tell if I'm going to like how that looks, even when it is on the right table model and then rotate it. Let's try to put the right table underneath them somehow. So that by default just chooses display shelf is true. We don't want that, do we? I don't know what I want to set on there. I kind of just want to like have it so it doesn't display anything, and then change the Y value on it. Can we just like say like display false or something on there? Model display. We can call model display. Okay, that works. So in theory, we can set model display as like our false model. So this should hopefully, as long as it doesn't run into merge props.model first, I think, but model display is this item, maybe not. Do we already have model display in here? No, we have item. Let's see what happens to this. Ideally, what I want is to have it just have floating, tabletop items. So these candy canes and gingerbread men and everything are just gonna be floating. I don't really think that's gonna work. We're probably even gonna get errors from this. Let's see. Okay, well that was interesting. How do we change the... Alright, let's look at how we're doing shelf. So if it's shelf, the display box model, how does display box get generated? Display box is defined here, and we're just creating the model, and then we'll redefine it later on. Okay, so then let's just have this as this dot display box model or display table, and then here we can have display box model as our false model, and then maybe like on the first one we use the table, or maybe we just have a new entity that's not doing anything except displaying as a table. I'm not really sure how I want to do it, but this should, as long as I update every bit of code correctly. We'd also have to update display. I think on this one I was doing Control A. That paste use strict. Is that okay to put in console? Yeah, it looks like it's okay. Need to get a partner to hide them boxes for you. Knowing is measure is science. I wonder if you don't believe in gravity, if it would change any of its properties. Do you use game as like global scope wrapper? Yeah, I mean, I have two like main big global objects, right? We have our game object and we also have our engine object. So things that are, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of designing both at the same time, but things that make more sense to be inside engine, I try to put inside engine. Things that make more sense to be inside game, I try to put inside game. There's a lot of other shit that isn't even inside those that should be. But those are our two main global objects. It's sometimes hard to differentiate what should go inside engine and what should go inside game, but I try my best to figure that out. Just hate calling it game for some reason. Yeah, certain variable names like I hate, but then I can't think of anything better. All right, that worked. We have floating things. Very good. So now on one of these, we want to spawn the table. Either that or we just spawn a table model as an entity. That's kind of easier to do. I think I will do that. That'll be easier. We want to do this outside the for loop. We'll do it, I guess, before the for loop. This is going to be called our table model. And it's not going to be an entity display. It's going to be engine dot entity dot default, I believe. Just going to put that on console because I always swap those because we changed it later on with a lot of things, but not this one, whatever. All right, so that's a table model. We need to put that position in. The position is going to be x plus, and we're not doing rotations yet. I really do need to do that, but that's going to be x plus 2 and z plus 1. I know these are wrapped in parentheses. It doesn't make any sense, but when we do rotations, it's going to do different things. So we'll just get this started like this. Did I bring that model in? I think I put it into the file. Our models large table thing. Oh, I'm not buffering that model. Hopefully it's okay and this isn't going to break anything. I don't think it will. And then the rotation, I'm gonna leave that there. It might break things. I'm just gonna leave that there and see if it's okay. And then we're going to push that into entities, and maybe we'll be okay with that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so that worked. I don't like the color of that table at all. Also, things are raised a little bit too high, but that's easy to fix. And the rotation is wrong. And it also looks like the pivot point's in the wrong spot. I guess that makes sense. Maybe. Maybe not. I guess that would be the one at 2 over 1, maybe. So you really don't want to be using half units, which I guess makes sense as well. So z would be half a unit over. The rotation, however, either we're not using the rotation at all right now. So if this rotation is right, let me see how I modeled this. Where's front? Okay, that seems to be correct. So in theory, the rotation is correct, and I guess that makes sense. The rotation would be correct because these aren't facing this way. Yeah, so that is right. I kind of want to rotate it then, since I don't actually like this one. So if I go to where we have 22 being spawned, we want to change the rotation to like 0. All right, let's just do that. And see how this helps. All right. And And then I guess everything on this side of the table I'll have facing this way, and everything on this side of the table I'll have facing the other way. I guess maybe things at the ends of the table should face outward. I'm not really sure how I want to do this yet, but obviously it's like not on it correctly. It's like kind of weird and offset. I think I want to be moving. Come on, fuck. I think I want to be moving the. Oh, so I'm pressing all the wrong keys. The items rather than the table. I think the table is probably in the right place with how we're going to do this long term. I think it's the items that are in the wrong place. So the items, in theory, if it's just on the z-axis that's wrong, it's kind of hard to tell. No, it's the x-axis that's wrong. Right. It's kind of weird. They may actually both be wrong because the table's probably supposed to be centered there. Because we are offsetting the table, aren't we? Yeah. And why am I doing that? I don't know. To center it, but we don't need a center because it's modeled centered. So even the Z is probably unnecessary, but that's a bit confusing. Yeah, you probably want to recenter them here. So we'd want to do minus 0.5. Let's see what this does. We probably want to also do it on the X. Yeah, let's just do it right away. Minus 0.5. Yeah, I don't think I like the color that I made the table though. Oh, so close, but so far. So it's the table center now. How did I do that? Whoops. So rotation's that, which I guess is rotate the right way. On the x-axis, we'll move it in. I think if this is 0, which I think it is, we'd move this in, I don't know, to about there. It's taken quite a while to just get the basics down, but as long as it looks good in the end and I don't spend like weeks on it, then I'm happy. I don't mind going slow with these things sometimes. I mean, sorry if it's not the most entertaining thing in the world to watch, but I could do it off stream, I guess. Kind of just feeling a little lazy today. I haven't been sleeping enough, and I don't know. I'm having a lot of work to get done, so lazy, slow pace is the pace for me right now. So it seems like just on the x-axis it's off, and possibly just by one, so maybe this one needs to be positive. Once we do rotations, it's all going to get changed anyway, probably, but I just want to see how this goes. And then I guess for these particular items, if they're centered, which hopefully they are, if the J, which is, yeah, for this, we want to add 180-degree flip for the ones on the other side, right? So here, we would change this value to be plus this value times 2. And I might have inversed those, but that's okay. We'll figure that out. Yeah, so I inverse them. So now they're both facing inwards. What's the best way to fix that? Can I just subtract them? Would that work? But then we'd have, oh yeah, that would work, I think. Shows my lack of math floor has caused subpixel slowness. So I got a math floor everything, yay. Can you like build it into like wherever you're calling these things, so you only have to like do it once and then just is good to go? It's slowing things down by doing that's strange. All right, so that's still flipped. So I'm not doing that right. Let me think. What's the correct way to do this? 1 minus this value, I guess, is technically the right way, probably. But I don't want this to multiply first, so we have to wrap this in parentheses. I didn't use damn functions. I was using context.rect shit cause 3 because of 3 canvases. Okay, I get what you're doing. So you're doing 2D canvas stuff, right? That's interesting that you need a flawless. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it would be subpixels otherwise. And I guess that would be harder on the renderer. I just never thought of that. All right, so that's facing all the right way now, but I guess those things aren't centered correctly, so they're offset on the X again. That's by like 2 units. I don't get that fully, but so if they're off by 2 units, and I guess we're subtracting them, we need to subtract 2 units from it, so it's going to be minus 1.5. Yeah, it works. Okay. So this is our large table. I also don't even know if I love it. I think on the ends I should have them face outward probably. There's some weird things that may come along with that. Like if we have this all the way against the wall, then they'd be facing right against the wall instead of facing outward and stuff. So I don't know how I want to do this for sure long term. I guess having a large table of items though is better than having a bunch of small tables. Also, it's still floating. I gotta fix that. I'm assuming it's just this extra 0.3 that I have for no good reason. Yeah. Yeah, I like your 16-bit stuff, Dragon, when I was watching your stream. It looked really cool. Okay, that could work. It's not bad. I wish we had different types of items spawning down. I guess if I just went to a different building, it would also be helpful. Yeah, let's just go into a different building. I don't know why it happens to be choosing all Christmas stuff, because the Halloween stuff should apply to this as well, and then also year-round stuff. Because we should have like a Halloween tabletop item, so it seems like it's only choosing the same like 3 items. So maybe I don't have the tabletop tag set up correctly on those items. I don't really know. Huh. Yeah, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm calling them tabletop item when I want to call them tabletop because we changed it or something. I'm not sure, but it's definitely not using all the items we want. We don't even want choosing Christmas items, to be honest, but it's what it is right now. All right, so why is that? If we look at, let's go to like our gingerbread man, right? So here on small headstone, we have tabletop. Oh, but it's excluding floor items, so it's things that are only tabletop items. Are we excluding floor items? I don't remember. I guess we don't want to do that, but we want to be careful about it. No, we're not excluding them. We're not excluding them. So we're trying to get just the ones that have the tag tabletop. So why is that not choosing all the ones with tag tabletop? This has a tag tabletop. Let's look at what's different about gingerbread man. That has tabletop. Could it be a size thing? I don't think so. That's floor item too. Shelf item. If we go to that small headstone for Halloween time, it has basically all the same items, all the same tags. Same size. I mean, maybe we're just getting really unlucky, but I highly doubt that. Why is it choosing only those items? We can also go inside these, even though you shouldn't be able to, but they treat them as buildings right now. All right, there's some weirdness. Some real weirdness. I'm gonna have to end the stream soon because I got some thunderstorms coming in and stuff. Can you guys hear that thunder? Maybe I'll end the stream soon. I don't want to get electrocuted if lightning strikes. All right. I don't know, and this isn't working. I'm gonna work on this off stream because I got a lot of shit to do, and I don't know. I wanted to stream longer today. I ended up starting later because I had a headache and stuff. I'm gonna try to stream a little bit more consistently. I mean, I have been anyway. For the most part, I mean, I've been streaming every day for several hours. This day is only 3.5. That's like the shortest one yet. But I try to do like 8 hours. Maybe I'll come back later today. Yeah. I'll end stream for now. Maybe I'll come back later. Hopefully I'll be back later tonight at the very least. And I'll try to work on this off stream, and then hopefully it won't be super slow, tedious work. Hopefully I'll like take a nap and have more energy. And we'll have like nice indoor layouts and maybe even a nice layout tool and stuff. And get rid of some of the shit code. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.